Hello. Hello? Hi. Oshi isn't here yet. I'm going to invite him here in a second. I first wanted to talk for a bit. Let me lower my music a bit. Wow. I wanted to talk for a bit with y'all and just let you guys know there is gonna be like a little chat timer that goes on like in the background and stuff. To let people know that I will probably not be talking to y'all or interacting in almost any capacity. All the alerts are basically off, so things like biddies, resubs, follows, and all that are all currently turned off. Oh, Zane, thank you so much for the resub. Oh my gosh, 20 months. I appreciate it. I will address everything like towards the end of the podcast stuff. There will be a portion where I think would be cool for those of y'all that stick around for the whole thing to kind of like ask me and Oshi like some questions or something, or well, mostly Oshi because Oshi is my guest, right? Y'all can ask me questions like anytime I stream, it doesn't really matter, but Oshi is the guest. SmolOshino, which I should put his little logo up. That SmolOshino, our guest today. And if you wanna get a link to all of his social stuff, type !guest in the chat. You'll get all of his things, all of his links to everything, and yeah, should be good. I hope y'all are doing good. Happy Saturday. It's the debut of my scuffed little podcast thing. I am very I don't know, I've never done anything like this, so we'll see how it goes. But how is y'all? How is everyone? We'll start officially at like 11 my time, which is in like 10 minutes. I'll give Oshi like 10 minutes. Let me message him. Let me message him like be on in like 10, I think is be on in then unless you're already on. In which case, I'll invite in 10 months. Yep, there we go. There we go. How you, kitty? Feeling nervous? A little bit, mostly because again I've never done this before, right? But did I run over? I did not. I did not run over my thing. A little bit. But how do you guys like the little overlay stuff? How is it? I basically just hip tracking over. Let me maybe move closer to my stuffs, and then maybe that'll be better. Yeah. Okay. I don't have like an actual like podcast world, so I just found this random one. I hope my hip tracker doesn't go too crazy during most of this, because that would be very sad. But how is chat? Y'all ready to listen to me and Oshi talk about whatever the heck I can come up with for like whoever knows how long? I don't know how long I'll have him here for. Maybe like 2-3 hours. I don't know. We'll see. Looks really nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Though I think the chat box thing is a little behind from what people were saying already. Like the little box here is a little behind, but you know, I'll work out all the kinks and the scuff later. It's the first episode. It's the first thing, right? It's going. There are going to be issues, unfortunately. But should be good. And a dream last night where someone tried telling me a joke that went like, "What do you call teachers that teach poorly? Bad teachers." What the fudge? Oh, there's the first little thing. There's a little bot message. Yeah. During the podcast, most of all notifications have been turned off. All redeems will also be ignored. Yeah, so any redeems y'all have for me, head pats, hip wiggles, whatever thing, I'm ignoring them until the end of the thing. Until the very end, I will be ignoring everything y'all demand of me. Yeah. Their comedy career will go nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. But yeah, yeah, no, I think with Oshi, right? I guess I can give like a little bit of background on Oshi, but I'll have him like tell y'all about him in a little bit too when I have him here in a few minutes. He's a cool VR chat animator. He started streaming again. He streamed I think on Wednesday this week. I'm a little sad that I couldn't catch most of them because I was at work, but he's back to streaming. He does really cool like animations in Unity and stuff, and it's pretty pog. He puts them on TikTok and Twitter and all that stuff. So yeah, on the Discord event thing, it said this starts at 6 because I edited it because of a miscommunication with Oshi. I thought he was like, I'll be free at 3 o'clock. And so I was like, oh, okay, 3 o'clock. And so I set it to be 3 p.m. PST. But then he was like, no, I was just telling you other thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Look, Kitty is scuffed, alright? Whatever a time, I mean, my schedule says I start at 9 a.m. for fuck's sake, and I don't start at 9 a.m. Y'all should know that anytime I set a time for something, it's probably wrong or going to change. Because I'm not consistent. So. But yeah. No, Oshie'll be here in a bit. He's prepping and all that stuff. So you have just me for a few minutes to kind of, I guess, give y'all the rundown of everything. Yes, Scuffy DVR, nothing so low. So yeah, I hope this goes well. If this goes well, Oshi's kind of like my test run. If this goes well, then I'll have another guest next week. I'll message somebody else and be like, hey, you free Saturday? And have them for next week. And then so on and so forth. Essentially, if this absolutely bombs today, I'll probably like put it on the back burner and rework it a bit till it doesn't like hit the fan and doesn't like absolutely bomb, right? Poan, hello. Rosen, hello. So fingers crossed that it goes well and that nothing too scuffy or bad happens today. Hopefully. Cause I don't know. I'm the anxious type. I'm the nervous anxious type, and if things that I would like to implement go bad, then I get sad, and if I get sad, then things no go, right? So let me see. Let me start changing up the music to something else now, or to like the main thing that I want to like have play in the background for. What? Don't double click. What the fudge? One singular click. Oh my god, that's kind of loud in my ear. That should be good, yeah? Can y'all hear that music just fine? Can y'all hear it okay? What? I'm trying to like adjust it in VR. I probably should have adjusted it more in desktop, but c'est la vie. Alright, let's see. Let's start getting Oshi in here now that I've talked about him a bit. I'll let him do more of the talking for y'all. Man, this this new freaking friends list thing is kind of scuffy, is it not? Let's see, where is Oshi? There's Oshi. Let me invite Oshi. Send invite. Boop. There we go. Yee's music good. Alright, Poggers. Poggers Champino. I've invited Oshi. Oshi will be here any second now. You know what that means? It's time for me to ignore all of you. I'm going to ignore every single thing y'all write in chat from here on out. For like the next hour or two. So. Haha. Hope you don't miss talking to me too much. I guess it's time to just listen. It's listening time. Yosh. Let me just move y'all a bit, because I am going to have at least chat open so I can see what's happening in case like a raid happens and I need to be like thank you for the raid and stuff. But like I'll pretty much be ignoring anything else for the most part, so yeah. Yeah, I just joined. Well, you're about to get ignored. I'm ignoring you. All of you. You will all be ignored. And I will be the bad streamer. I'll be a bad streamer and ignore every single person in chat. That's what's gonna happen here. So, whenever Oshi gets here, y'all are no longer an issue or a worry of mine until after the fact. Because again, I'll open up questions and chat interaction like toward the end of it. We'll see how long we decide to talk about stuff for. Yeah, I'm ignoring all y'all. You know, let me start now. I'm gonna just pretend that I don't see you guys. I'm just gonna sit here in awkward silence. That'll be funny, right? Just sit here awkwardly. Yush. Oh, thank you for the raid. Baby Junior. That's a name I've never seen before. But hello, welcome. I'm just waiting for Oshi to arrive. And then once he is here, oh, is that? They are here. Oh, well. Oshi! Oshi is here. Hello.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just telling chat that I was going to ignore them, and then I sat here awkwardly ignoring them. let me raise the volume up in game so I can hear you a little better. Hello. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello. Hello.
The camera's over there if you want to wave to them and be like hello. But don't actually talk to them.
Hi. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not there, I guess.
Yeah, they're not
Okay.
there. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm a great
This is a secluded podcast, guys.
Secluded.
It's only 2 people.
Only the 2 of us.
It's
very
a recording.
Yeah, it's a recording. This is a pre-recorded thing. It was really elaborately set up. So now that you're here, we're gonna treat like the start of it kind of like an interview would be. So like, tell people about you. What do you do, Oshi? If people have no idea who you are.
Certainly, definitely. Hello guys, my name is SmolOshino. I am a content creator. I make animated music videos, primarily made in Unity. Mostly, well, yeah, music videos, short skits, TikToks, and as well as like avatars.
Yeah.
But yeah. I made my own avatar. I made Riley's avatar, but you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say people should know, like, if they know Riley, they know like your work to some extent, right? Because a lot of people know who that dude is. They all know the DPS man.
Mr. Green Man.
Yeah, Mr. Green Man, funny Green Man. I'll probably bug him to see if I can have him on this, so I can like mess with him for like a few hours. How long do you think you have time for this? Like, how long do you wanna go for? Cause I got like all day.
As much as we can go, honestly.
All right, cool.
I had plans to work on Avatar later, but I could say as much long.
Oh heck yeah. Oshi would be on my podcast and not do Avatar stuff. Let's go. He wants to, you know, people are shy.
So shy, I'm honored.
Shy. Yeah, oh my god, I'm so honored. Oshi's taking time off of Avatar stuff to be on my show. Oh my god. But I guess I've never really done a podcast thing, but like I listen to them every now and again, so I guess we just talk about random shit. This is the first one we're testing Oshi. This is like a pilot episode. Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest, I've never been part of a podcast, but I feel like every time like I were to have like some sort of interview or like a one-on-one like discussion type of thing, it's more of just like general conversation. I don't know how to explain it. It just happens.
It just kind of happens. Yeah,
that's what I think.
And I don't think we've like talked at all. Like we've hung out and we've done like stupid shit, but like usually with like a bunch of other people, we've never really like sat down and like had a one-on-one to get to like know each other. So I guess what even got you like into stuff? Yeah, like tell me what got you into wanting to do Unity. Like why VR chat and why Unity? Like what's sparked
why VR
all that?
chat? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess we could start with like VR chat stuff. So it got me into VR chat, right? I think this was after high school.
Yeah.
I was part of a my school had like a merger with the a vocational school for accounting.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my teachers had a Oculus, and I was like, the only time I heard about Oculus was like back when I used to watch Markiplier. Like,
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
old DK1, DK2.
I remember
same
seeing
thing with,
everyone like pop
PewDiePie.
off with that, like when the first like gen came out. God
Yeah,
damn.
yeah. But the thing about that, they were so expensive, and I was
Yeah.
like, I think I was like 10 when I saw that.
Oh my god.
But
Baby.
yeah, I knew I would never be able to afford something like that. But look
Yeah,
where we
like,
are now.
yeah,
You know?
index, full body
Almost
tracking,
everything.
base stations. Just a casual like 2-3 grand setup depending on like, you know, what you have, right? Jesus.
I've got like the cancer beams just like
Yeah.
lasering me right now.
Oh my god. So you got into VR
yeah.
chat through like the Oculus, like seeing the Oculus like sponsored stuff, I'm guessing, right? Like because YouTubers are obviously getting sponsored for it and like being sent the VR stuff.
Well, I think it's more of getting into VR, right? Because I didn't know anything about VR at that point besides the whole Markiplier thing. Because I knew eventually I wouldn't be able to afford it. So he had like a VR and all that, and Fruit Ninja like was like pretty pog.
Yeah.
I think one day I was going through the mall after school, and there was coincidentally there was a little booth, and they were also doing like Fruit Ninja.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was like, oh, dude, I want to try that. And they had a Vive. It was a Vive, and I never knew
yeah.
HTC had like a VR. I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I was just like, I need to try this out. I'm so hyped. I gave it a try, and then I thought to myself, I need this. I need to get one.
God.
So after, I think it was some time saving up. I saved up like a portion of it, but it was more of like a Christmas present. My
I was gonna
grandmother
say
bought
like
me a
birthday
Vive.
stuff or like Chris, because that's usually how I got my
Mhm.
money back then. I was like saving up if I wanted to buy anything, was like birthday money or something, or like a Christmas thing. Like I would just kind of save anything up, and then like, you know, like whenever deals would go on, I'd be like, Mom, I want to buy like this and stuff or whatever. Or, like I just buy it myself depending on how old I was, right?
Yeah. Back then, when I think about it, the Vive was actually pretty cheap. No, it was really expensive. It was more expensive. Than it is,
For the
like,
time, yeah.
You know, towards it, for the
sure.
time, because it was still kind of new, right? So it was an investment. It was a pretty big investment, but I never regretted it. I had so much fun using. But yeah. I got the Vive. I didn't know what VR chat. No, I think no. Oh my god, dude, I'm getting this like mixed up. So I think
You're fine.
2 or 3 months prior. This was. So this was around August 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a YouTube video of someone. They're in an old presentation room and they were just drawing stuff, and I was like, "What the heck? That's so crazy!"
Yeah,
and they're like
yeah.
an anime girl, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
You're like, I want to be an
What
anime
kind
girl.
of like crazy life is that?
Yeah.
Like, imagine a world that you can just like embody your
Yeah.
life.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, yeah, it's crazy.
Don't take that like, you know, out of context, but you know, you get what I mean.
No,
right?
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw that, and basically, yeah, that's what really like pushed me to get VR, and this was during Christmas time. So, but I was playing VR chat on desktop mode like back in like August.
Yeah.
It sucked. Desktop mode is like,
Yeah, no, I
don't know
played like 2
how
hours on
people-
desktop, and then I like never touched the game again because I think like one of the worlds I'd went to on desktop was like it would have been cooler in VR because it was like when I was like flying around worlds and stuff, and I was like, man, this is just, I could just play
Yeah.
like some kind of like flight sim game on desktop to like do this and I'd get like the same result, right? Like I want to be in VR, so I did it, like I think it was also around like 2017, 2018 that I got into desktop. It was around the Ugandan Knuckles era, like for everyone kind of thing, right? Like it was, I feel like that's what got everyone like initially like boosted into it, right? And so I tried it out, and I just kind of like got on with some friends on desktop because none of us had VR. We just all played it in desktop, and then yeah, I gave up on it after a few years, and then the Rift S came out, and that's when I got like fully into VR, because I didn't know about I knew about the CV1 and I knew about the vibes, but I didn't have a job or anything, right? I was still kind of young. My parents wouldn't let me like work, so I would only have birthday money, and that's not it. I would have to save up like maybe 3 birthdays worth of like money to be able to buy like anything VR wise, right? So I waited until like the Rift S came out, and then once that was out, and I was already streaming at that point, so I saved my streaming money and birthday money to buy that. And oh my god, it was like it was so cool. My first day in VR, I think or no, not my first day. It was like after I got to know some people, there was like one day where like I did like a whole stream of like 9 hours, and then because like with the Rift S, right, there's no charge on your controllers, it's just battery, right? And so those batteries could last like an entire day, 2-3 days without you having to like stop to charge them. So I stayed in VR for 9 hours, got off to like eat my one like meal, and then got back on for like another 5 or 6 hours, and I was in VR for like almost like 15. Yeah, like because it's like the late night vibes, right? Like I just got done with the stream, and then like you just kind of hang out with friends in like a cozy little world and just kind of like vibe out for a few hours. Like that was it, right? Like I was like, I don't want to go to bed, I don't have school. I think it was like summer break or something, and I was like, yeah, I got nothing else to do. I'd just be laying in bed, so why not just sit at my like, oh yeah, my first, because of the Rift S, right, like it doesn't need base stations, it had like lighting from the headset, but you needed like a lit room for it to see. I used to have my setup literally at my desk, and when it would get too dark and I couldn't have lights on in my room, I would have to sit like at my desk with the monitors being my light source for me to be in VR and for it to track. Yeah, the monitor like lighting. And so like every time like I would see like my friends in VR like laying down in their beds, and like they'd be like, Kitty, why don't you get off your desk if you're so uncomfortable? And it's like I'd be like, oh, let me show you, and I'd like go to my bed, and like my tracking and like my headset would just stop.
Just start spazzing.
Yeah, it would just start spazzing and like stop, and then they'd be like, okay, I see why. So I just, every time you saw me, if anyone knew me back then in VR, you'd know I was tired if like I was doing like this kind of thing, right? Because like I'd be like leaning in my desk and like putting my head on my arms and stuff. And because like oh god, it was so uncomfortable. But then once I got like, oh yeah, wait, what was so your first was a Vive, right? Before I like go to
it was a Vive.
Yeah, so did you like, when did you get full body? Like when was your like realization of like full body tracking being a thing? Because I think when you got it, like full body was like super rare compared to like when I got my Rift. That's where like almost everyone had it.
Yeah. Oh, I want to make a note. Like you got VR pretty late. Like,
no, I did. I got it super late.
Like Rift S.
2020. Yeah, it was like right at the end of like 2019. I think 2020 started 2020. I got into VR super late.
You're playing VRC like 3 years on desktop?
No, not on. I quit. Like I didn't even like continue playing on desktop.
Oh,
I like I just left it. I had like maybe 2 or 3 hours on desktop, and then from then on I just watched videos. Like I would just watch, like, you know, Nags 21. Do you know Nags?
Yeah.
Joey Bagels. Yeah, I would watch his videos. Whoops and Pokelols when they used to stream it, right? Team 5 and all that stuff. And then there was James Ski's, like, you know, James Ski's like this basically VR chat like videos or whatever, right? Like those clips, and I would just kind of watch that. And then a YouTuber that I really liked, his name is Brutal Moose, had an Oculus like sponsored video, and it was for the Rift S, and he was talking about it. And so I messaged my friend EO, because he was streaming already, and I was like, you know, and I don't know if you know EO, right? Like little red dude, the weird red goblin man. I don't know if you've met him at all.
EIO?
Seen him? Yeah, EIO, yeah, EIO, yeah. He was already streaming, and like for me VR chat was like a social game, right? And he did a lot of GTA RP, So like when I saw that come out, I was like, you should get this and like stream this game, because I feel like you do GTA RP, you're like super charismatic and talkative. I feel like this would be like, you know, VR chat would be like your pop off for streaming, right? And then he was like, Kitty, I'm not buying this on it's so much money right now, and like I'll get it if you get it, kind of thing. And so I made it my goal. I was like, all right, I'm going to put up a donation goal, which I'd never done before on my stream, and then save up any money that I get myself, because my birthday was right on the corner. And I put in half of the money I made from streaming and half of my birthday money, or all of my birthday money, and it added up to just enough for like a Rift S on its own. And so
Holy.
I bought it, it came in, EO and I got into like VR chat stuff, and then we both kind of started streaming it. And just like I thought, he kind of like blew up. He like popped off, like he started like meeting everyone and stuff, like all the cool like VR chat streamers that like pretty much got me into wanting to play the game, right? And so it was really cool to see. And then I just would like stay with like my friend group, and like I would make more friends through it as well, right? Like here we are, present day. Like yeah, so in like the two-ish years, almost 3 that I've been playing, like shit's kind of been crazy. I went from knowing maybe like 10 people max, I think, right? Like my initial like friend circle, to like the point where I can't even count the people that I know now. It's kind of insane. It's like, oh gosh, was that like the same for you? Did you have like an initial like friend group that you got into like VR chat or like anything, or like any like IRL homies or just online homies?
I can't say. Honestly, when I first started, I didn't really have much friends who played VR chat or had a VR. Not much people knew about VR in my school. I don't know. When I first started, I was completely new. No one I knew had VR. I came into VR chat, and I basically made the friends I have now by myself. Really.
Just kind of like
I didn't start with
public
like,
hopping kind of thing. Like you just kind of met them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because back then you could do it and it would be like pretty much fine. Like whereas nowadays it's kind of like a coin flip on whether or not you'll meet someone cool or like an asshole kind of person, right? You know.
It's yeah. That's why I kind of do really miss the old VR chat.
Yeah.
Because anyone you meet, you can meet them again, because the population wasn't that big, and there wasn't so many like, you know, trolls, like people with like you know, crashers and all different types of stuff. So it was like a good environment. Like people were nice, people were, you know, greeting and all that. I wouldn't say like you can't still find people like that. It's just hard to
it's
find
harder.
genuine people.
It's a lot
nowadays,
harder
you know?
nowadays. Like, cause now you mostly meet like the genuine people through someone else in like a somewhat like private instance at this point. It's not even publicly. It's like the invite plus lobbies or the friends plus lobbies where you'll like maybe meet someone. Cause I think that's how. No, I don't think we met that way. I think we met in like on like
stream.
Yeah, stream chat, and then like I saw your stuff on Twitter, and I thought it was like really cool. I think is how it happened, and then we finally like met in game. But like most people I meet through like a friend of a friend, right? Where it's like I'll join on someone and then they'll like be like, oh, by the way, Kitty, this is like so and so. They want like, you know, this is my friend so and so. They do this, that, or the other, like whatever, right? Like sometimes like usually I meet a lot of people through Lugs. Lugs will be like, Kitty, this is like so and so, they're like a dancer, they run a club or like something. Like there's always something interesting, or like they do like documentaries or like videos or something, right? Like it's really crazy how much people do on VR chat, right? And like how one person you know can know so many people, and chances are they'll also know the person you know now, right? Like I think that's the one difference from like old school VR chat to now, is that I feel like back then, since it was a smaller community, like everyone knew each other, but like now since it's bigger, right? I think the one difference is you might not know somebody yet, but someone you know knows that person, and you'll eventually run into them just because of the fact that like they've been around for so long, and like you can kind of just meet all those people a lot quicker kind of thing, right? Is like that's how I met most of the people that I
Yeah.
like looked up to and like watched back then. Was like someone I became friends with knew that person, and then they'd be like, let me introduce you to them, or like they just kind of show up in a lobby somewhere, and then I would get to talk to them and like, you know, meet them, kind of thing. Like that's kind of how like we had the thing with like Riley, right? Like we had Riley in common. And then I think,
Yeah.
you know, the way I met Riley was the fact that he had, I think, Ari and Sai in common with me, right? So like, cause he was just there in like a hard box event, and like through EO I've like met a bunch of people, and then like apparently like I don't know, it's just like one big circle it feels now. Like I think that's the one thing that's like a little different but also stayed from like old VR chat. It's bigger, but you still like have like that sense of like everyone still, you can still run
Everyone's
into
still
people.
connected.
Yeah, right. And I think that's like the
I
beauty
feel
of it.
I honestly kind of feel that too, because there's times where I would see older friends and then reappear in the future without me, or
Right.
not older friends, but like older acquaintance. You know, you would
Yeah,
see them in the
yeah.
past, you're like, wait, I've seen you before, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just friend groups, you know. Because if we
Yeah,
all,
yeah.
I think, I would think it as kind of like a tree,
Yeah, it's like a
and you
big
know,
tree, and it like branches off, and like there's like VR chat's kind of like the root, but then like everything like branches off, and like you'll always kind of like run into someone once you go far up enough on that tree, kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah. There's always like, you know, some connection somewhere that you just
Yeah.
know.
It's kind of
Mm.
it's so surreal, because like I don't know, I've never been able to like talk to so many people before, right? Because you said it before, you didn't have too many friends, right? I just had like a small friend group, it wasn't like that big, right? And I only managed to, I think, from my friend group only get maybe EO was like the one from like my friend group off of like VR chat, because like a lot of people I brought into VR chat, right? And so from my original like little Discord group, I think it was just EO and like Squee are the only two I managed to kind of like spark an interest into VR chat to like play. Squee took a little time to get into it, but like EO and I were like the first two to like hop on, and like other friends from that friend group just kind of, they like dove into it for like maybe a little bit for like the meme, right? Just to kind of see like the funny, but they never like if we were to compare hours, obviously, right? Like I have almost like I think 4K hours now in VR chat versus they're like maybe 2 or 3, right? Like, you know, so yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of crazy, because like I also kind of started off with like not knowing too many people, and I just, for me, I met them through streaming. Since I came in so late, I didn't get to experience like the golden days of like VR chat, at least not personally, just through videos. And I kind of wish I could have been around during that time, because it seems so much fun. Like I just didn't have the money though, unfortunately. So
Yeah, it's always I would think if you would never, oh well, the thing is you joined during the Knuckles thing.
yeah,
or the
like that's
Knuckles,
when I
like,
played on
boom.
like desktop. Yeah, like
I
the Knuckles boom.
I feel like anything after that, people don't get like, or I would say like a good amount of people don't get like how VR chat really like, you know, began, because people mostly think VR chat was or is still like, oh, like a meme, you know, like
Yeah.
everyone just like messes around type of thing. But you know, it had a start, and it was like very like nice, comforting, very like, you know, welcoming. Just like think of just like being in a family that you never knew you had, in a way, or like having friends that you never knew you had, because everyone was all in the same instance. So it would be like, you know,
yeah,
it was very close.
that's
very
what I
nice,
got from like the
but
videos that weren't just like the music. Like Nags21, like, you know, Joey Bagels, his videos were very much that to me, where it's like it seemed like everyone was just kind of like one big like happy family or whatever, because of the way like his videos are portrayed, right? Like they just go on like dumb little adventures, right? Like maybe sometimes they would just even stay in like presentation room and just like draw, right? Whereas like nowadays, I think that world's pretty much dead. Like nobody really goes to the presentation room anymore to like do stupid things or whatever like they used to. Like I kind of I used to want like I would used to do like streams in there just to like do memes and stuff and like draw and like do the bit of like, you know, e-girl writes your name on the board for like every like biddy or whatever, right? And
Give a
like sub,
subscriber.
yeah, right. But like it's been so long since I've been to like the presentation room to like where it's like an actual like lobby filled with people actually doing stuff. I think I've only ever been
Yeah.
in the presentation with like actual people in there like 2 or 3 times, like in my like 2-ish 3-ish years of like playing VR chat. It's kind of, it makes me sad because that was like one of the things I wanted to do was like
Mm-hmm.
see that or like be a part of like those like big old like bits and stuff, right? I feel like a lot of that's kind of died out now and like nobody likes to do that stuff anymore, you know, like improv or like RP situations. Like there's RP stuff but like never like
Mm.
impromptu, like, you know, you join a lobby like the black cat
The-
or like the pug and like someone will pretend
mhm.
to be like the bartender, right? Like that was the kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff I
yeah, yeah.
always wanted to like do and like be a part of. And like if I had the ability, if I wasn't so anxious, I would love to like try and like spark that again, but like man, I don't think it could be me. It would
There.
have to be someone else.
Mm-hmm. I was actually, now that you talk about that, there are like improv like communities, VR chat
Mm-hmm.
improv. I used to take part in that, not the like public one, but just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the practice. Basically, what they do is uh someone gives them like a prompt and they have to act it out while there's like different like deviances, like, oh, you cannot use like the
Yeah,
letter R
yeah.
or something like that. And I was
Mm.
that it's fun, it's so fun, but
No,
it's hard
improv
at the
is
same
so
time. It's like
good.
I like communities like that that just like
Mm-hmm.
make those different types of stuff. That's why I was like
Yeah.
always interested in learning more about the smaller communities. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's the drinking ones, there's like the ASL,
Mm.
dancing, the loot side, and probably even more, but you
Oh yeah,
know,
there's probably a shit
there's
ton more.
there's no way of like really knowing like where to find those or like how many or you know we don't get like a good scope of like, you know, how many people have different communities and like what they do and such. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's large, like it's kind of like it's like I know of a lot of stuff because of Legs, because Legs knows a lot of community stuff, and like it feels like it only scratches the surface, right? Like how much goes on in VR chat, both like good and bad, because obviously there's still some like spooky stuff on VR chat, just like in anything else, right? Like I don't know if you've seen like the
Yeah.
documentary stuff. I think his name's like Brandon something, like the YouTube dude, but like there's a
Uh-huh.
lot of good, but there's a lot of like, yeah, there's like some really like fucked up. Well, it's obvious, right? Like some of the fucked up shit that happens, but
Oh,
like do you know what I'm talking
uh,
about, right? Like
is
the fucked up parts, like the 18 plus side of VR
oh,
chat and all that, right? Like the looter sides,
I
right?
think I think I I think I got recommended one of their videos.
Yeah.
Like it was something about like cults in VRC or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
there's
that.
cults too. It's kind of crazy. There's cults, there's like sex stuff outside of like the ERP thing, but like, you know, there's like actual like it, the videos are really interesting.
Crazier.
Like, yeah, like I recommend watching them if you ever have the time, because it like there is so much going on in this game that like I didn't even know about uh outside of like the nicer stuff, right? Like it's a whole rabbit hole, and it's the same thing with like a bunch of other games that I've
The
learned about that have
iceberg.
like, yeah, right, like the VR chat
Mm-hmm.
iceberg. And then there's also, it's similar to like, because I also learned not too long ago, I've talked about this before on stream, that like even games like RuneScape have like underground like sex work like rings and stuff, where like you can,
What?
yeah,
RuneScape.
yeah, old school runes, or even new RuneScape 3 as well has it too, where you can pay in-game currency or sometimes even real money, and there are these clans that like have a bunch of girls on there, right? And like you pay them essentially, kind of like, you know, those old like sex hotlines for like phones and stuff, how you'd like ring someone up and be like, you know, it's like that but with
Mm.
like RuneScape, and they would like do it over like Skype or I think like Discord even, but I think it was usually on Skype. And like you would pay them like however much for like an hour or a few minutes or whatever, and they would just like essentially ERP with you. And I think very rarely, if you paid enough, if like there's someone that lived in your area, you could pay to like hook up with them in like person. If they like were in your yeah, no, it's crazy. Like I think WoW has something like that too. Someone told me. I can't remember, but I know for a fact RuneScape has it, and there's like this whole black market of like just random shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if VR chat also had something like a black market as well, or of some sort, because it's a big enough community now, right? There's enough players for things like that to kind of like go under the radar, right?
Yeah, I have heard from like different like people that they've earned from just doing like erotic dances,
right?
Private erotic dances and such like that, and it's just like overwhelming. Like, whoa, it's very like people can make a living off of just doing, you know, the same stuff they would do
in real
IRL,
life,
but without the complications, without the risks, you know.
That's the cool thing about VR chat. I know some people who like their job they can do from like inside of VR, and like they'll be at like a Just Be club like partying, and they'll still be like at work and like making money while like not getting like completely shit-faced, obviously like drinking but staying sober enough to work, right? But like still like hanging out, and then they just be like doot like in their little overlay like doot like doing their job. And I'm just like god damn. And like some people just straight up make money off of VR chat. Like the music scene I think is another good example, right? Of like I imagine most of the VR clubs, at least the really popular ones, obviously get like brand deals and sponsors, right? For like hosting stuff. At least I'd guess. I don't know, because I've never really been on the inside of that stuff, so I don't know for sure, but I'd imagine like the really big popular ones that get like really big names obviously make some kind of money, right? To kind of like be able to afford those big names, right? So like I think Shelter would be one that I think definitely makes some money like outside of this stuff, because like they run in and out of VR,
host their like IRL stuff.
Like Shelter is I think the one example for that. I still haven't been to one. I need to go to one to like actually experience it.
What?
Dude, I'm always like I haven't been to one today. When does it happen?
There is
usually?
one tonight.
Yeah. I know there's one like Friday or Saturday every time. I just haven't been able to go. 10 p.m. Like
10 p.m.
EST. Also like 7 p.m. for me. Okay. I'll see if I can stop by, because like I've wanted to go to one. I'm usually just asleep, like because like I've been so tired sometimes, like, and I just pass out like really early. I'll be like, I'm gonna take like a 5-minute nap, and then like that 5-minute nap turns into like 5 hours, and I'll wake up at like 3 a.m. like, well shit, I guess I'll just stay in bed then.
Never enough.
Yeah. Like I miss out on so many things because of that. Like I got like really sad at one point because of that, because it's like I'd be like, I just want to lay in bed for like a few minutes because I got like really tired from like a stream or like work now, and I'll be like, let me just lay in bed for like a little bit. I'll watch some YouTube on my phone to try and like keep me awake, but then like I'll fall asleep during, because like on YouTube sometimes I'll watch like the longer videos that are like more talkative, right? And then I'll just pass out in the middle of it, and then like wait. I woke up to YouTube Shorts the other night, like with my headphones on. Like it was just like looping this. I don't even know what the short was. It was. I just like it was just like something looping in my ear. It's like some girl like screaming or something in my ear about something. It might have been like a Twitch clip or like a funny moment of something, right? I couldn't process it because I was waking up, and I was like, why is this girl screaming in my ear? What am I listening to? It's just, I like picked up my phone. I was like, my phone's still on. What's this YouTube short? And I like closed my phone. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going back to sleep. Oh god, have you ever done that? Like, do you fall asleep with your phone?
I had something similar.
Yeah.
Well, I remember there was one time, actually something very similar, but it was just like a Mario screaming like the whole time. It was just like a YouTube. I was watching through TikTok actually, and then I think I passed out with my phone on the side, and I was just hearing like him like dying like the wah, like the whole time. And I wake up like, what is that?
See, like for me it was like I remember going to sleep on a video. I didn't even have YouTube Shorts open, so like at some point while I'm knocked out, or like at least without being fully there before like blacking out, I must have had to like not only like put my phone in vertical, right, but also had to have scrolled down and then tapped on a YouTube short to get there, like in my sleep somehow. Because when I watch my videos, right, it's like horizontal, right? I keep my phone like flat, and I'll just like lay on a pillow, and it'll be like in front of me like a little TV monitor,
yeah.
right? So at some point, I must have like had to grab my phone, put it back up in like vertical, and then go to a YouTube short. So I have no idea. Like that's why I woke up so confused. I was like, how did I get this? How did I end up here? That doesn't make any sense to me. What the heck? I feel like I do the weirdest things.
You've
when
gone
I
to
sleep.
the point where you just like.
Yeah.
It's like sleepwalking, but you know.
But in bed.
I'm sleep TikTok.
Yes.
I'm just scrolling through stuff.
I'm consuming content while sleeping. I'm just like subliminally like absorbing like all these like YouTube shorts for like meme ideas or something. Like goddamn.
I have a question.
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I'm asking you the question.
Yeah.
Have you ever had ideas of doing like TikToks or like shorts?
Yeah, the funny thing is I made like one TikTok. Oh yeah, you're good. Do you need to like walk off for a bit? Oh, okay.
No. This is my phone. I'm here.
Yeah. I did do like one TikTok, like I don't even know how long ago it's been now. And like I had this idea of doing them, and the only TikTok I have right now is of this is back when like the one meme was like really popular, like the from like Invincible, right? Like the right? And like it'd be Omni-Man, I think is his name, right? Or whatever. Like, you know, double cheeked up, right? Like as you turn around, like you see him like, you know, in that like pose, right? The like squat double. So like I did one similar to that, right? With that audio, where it's like I called it like, you know, when the loot thoughts like kick in kind of thing, right? And like it's just like a looter version of like an avatar like behind me, like that shows up, and then this like while the drop happens kind of thing, right? And then after that I just kind of like, I don't know, like I had ideas for other things, but like I would upload them to YouTube instead of TikTok because I didn't have ideas that would work in like vertical recording kind of thing. Most of my ideas worked as like horizontal videos, and I know for TikTok it has to be vertical, right? So like a lot of my ideas I would want like the full scope of like, you know, the camera. So like a lot of little skits and shorts I've mostly only uploaded to YouTube and Twitter when I did have them, and like TikTok's has kind of been laying dormant for like who knows how long now. And I still get followers, funnily enough, too, because like I'll feature in some TikToks here and there. I'm guessing is how like I get like followers, because like Section has asked me to like give him pictures for stuff, right, or whatever. And I think that's where some of my followers have come from, is like from the little things like that with Section and all that, right? And Zacky's one as well, the one that he did like recently that had like a bunch of pictures of people, right? And I got asked again, the Femboys, I got asked again by someone else, like if I could send them a picture for like a little thing that they're doing as well. So
I know you talk, yeah, me too.
Yeah. And so like I was like, I'm sitting here thinking, I've made a tweet like, would people be interested in me maybe trying to do like stuff again, very inconsistently, because I have work now, right? Like I have my part-time job again, and like trying to keep up with like the streaming and hanging out with people, it's gonna be a little, I need to find like times and days where I can record for that stuff. But like, yeah, I have the interest, and the only thing is I'm kind of, if anything, lacking ideas, because it's been so long. Like I used to, like all the ideas I used to have are pretty much like gone, and so like what I've been doing right now is like anytime I do have an idea, I made a server, like just my own server for myself, where I like write ideas down and stuff in it, right? Or like keep track of like other things for like stream stuff or content stuff, right? So like I will probably make TikToks again, but it's just like I can't promise like it'll be like next week, like They'll come at some point. I have to do something because I'm getting followers on TikTok without even ever promoting it. Like I don't promote my TikTok at all.
Without doing.
Yeah, it's not like I have like 1K
Hmm.
over there or something. It's like a couple hundred, but like from going to like 10 something to like a couple hundred now without doing anything, it's like, okay, I should probably maybe at some point do something and then like
Do
actually
something.
like give people a reason to follow because right now I'm not doing anything and people are following slowly. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
what's the point? Like, at one point, I
Oh.
just wanted to tweet out, like, stop following my TikTok because I don't do anything on my TikTok.
I don't do anything.
I don't do anything. Stop
post.
following me. Because, like,
I know this one thing a lot of people do is or mostly like streamers, they would post like clips on
yeah,
TikTok.
and that's what I was thinking about
No,
doing to
Remy
kind of
doesn't.
like, I guess having something there until I can think of like a meme idea. I would just have to go through all of my little YouTube clips and stuff that I already have uploaded and just kind of make them vertical and like fit the TikTok stuff, right? Which wouldn't be too hard. It would just take like again some time, right? Like I need like some time in a day where I can just sit down in Sony Vegas and like readjust everything and like render it for TikTok kind of thing. But like yeah, I used to have like hella interest in that stuff, and then what I've really had interest in, honestly, and I wanted to talk about this like on Twitter, like on stream at some point, was because you do like
Mm.
animation stuff. I've been like low key before, like even I think like I saw like a lot of your
Oh,
stuff. Oh, did you hit the chair on
oh,
accident? Oh,
wait, I hit the chat.
yeah, yeah. There's a seat. Yeah, there's seats here.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I had like low key. Maybe you've seen a few of them. I've only put them on Twitter, not on YouTube. But like they don't do really well compared to like obviously like the thirst trap like pictures or anything. But like I have posted like some like little edits of like VR chat like music video things that I've had like ideas for. Cause sometimes
I've
I'll listen
seen
to
one
like
of
a song.
them.
Yeah, and like I'll listen to a song sometimes and I'll be like, I think this would make like I feel like you know how because I imagine you have the same thing where it's like you hear a song and you like imagine the stuff like in your head how it like plays out or how it would play out if it like if you had
Yeah.
to make your own music video for it, right? And so like
Mm-hmm.
that's what would happen. I'd be like outside at like the gym or something or like on my bus ride to work and like a song that I really like will come on and I'll be like this could work as like a video thing. I just need to record it at some point, right? And so I already have one in mind, but I just need like time to like record it and like I already kind of have some things planned out for it. It probably wouldn't be like a full song. It'd probably be like a segment of like a song. That's usually how my brain is like I can only really visualize like that segment and like the rest of it is just kind of like nah, that's too much. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like at that point like I would lose my motivation or like it just I don't know because like it'll always be like maybe
Start
the
getting a bit stale in your head.
yeah because I used to do like anime music videos and stuff, right? And like RuneScape music videos.
AMV.
Yeah. On my old dead channel that I did show my chat once and like the name got leaked like for like a second because I tried to hide the name of it. I leaked it for like a second without realizing it by clicking on one of my videos. So somewhere in like an ancient VOD that's probably gone now at this point, like somebody could have screen capped what the channel name is. But I used to make AMVs and stuff and like I still have that like problem of like I can never sit down and edit a full song because after like maybe it's always like around the 20-30 second mark of it where my brain starts to go like, okay, this is kind of redundant now or something. And so like I'm just gonna only like do like 20-30 seconds or something, right? I only ever did full songs, I think 2 or 3 times, maybe 4. Like as a whole, like anime music video and RuneScape music video wise, because it just the way I would edit, like when I was watching like your animating stream, right? Like you were like keyframing everything, right? Like I would do that, but in like Sony Vegas, right? So like, cause I really liked syncing up like effects to like every like drum beat and like every drop and like the song, yeah, like right on the hit, right? And so like imagine doing that for like, or well, you don't have to imagine, you do it, right? So you know my pain, where it's like for like a whole 3-minute song where it's like constantly going do 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 or whatever, right? Like, and then like it's just no, no, I'm not gonna sit and do that.
It's hard to keep on beat. Because,
yeah.
I think I'm guessing what you do is like you would do like every like 2 beats and then copy paste.
Yeah, I would.
Paste,
yeah, but sometimes it differentiates.
It
offsets. It offsets,
Yeah,
and it's like when it offsets, you're like, where did like you have to find out where it went wrong, move back. You can't copy and paste anymore, and it's just
I feel
the pain. See, like, you know my pain. Like when I was watching you do that, I was like, oh man, like I was getting like flashbacks in my head of like watching you like move the keyframes like back when it wasn't like perfect like in the initial spot, and you had to like move them back, and I'm like, yeah, I used to do the same. And be like, this zoom doesn't, the zoom in doesn't look good here, so let me move it back. It doesn't look good there. Move it forward a bit, right? Like,
I have a suggestion. This is something I've started to do recently. I'm not sure if Premiere allows you to do this, but you copy a keyframe of like when it like hits, and then play the video, and while it's playing, you paste it every time you hear like the beat.
I've never thought of trying. I think Sony Vegas does let you do that. Sony Vegas, I think, does let you like copy paste while it plays. I've never thought of that. Like, actually, oh, that's sick. And because like at that point, either you hit it on the mark or you're close enough to where you can just like,
you're close enough.
Yeah,
right?
like where you just give it like a slight adjustment. Oh my god, that's actually big brain. What the heck?
Yeah, I thought of it recently because I was so lazy. I was like, oh, I can just copy and paste it. What's the point?
Oh my god. Because like I would copy, but like never to like have it play and like paste as it's playing. That's big brain. I'll definitely keep that in mind for my next thing. Because like I think the last VR chat like video edit thing I did was like of the, this is back when like the Virgil meme was like really popular. So I did the what is like, I am the storm, like I did an edit of that, but it was mostly text with like the VR sealants like flying through like a really pretty world, right? So it was like maybe like a few like seconds. It was like just the part right at the drop essentially, and like that as like I want to do more of that. Like I really do. I just need a day where I can like record and stuff. So because like I don't know, there's still a brain in me from like the RuneScape music video days and like AMV days where it's just like I can't hear a song and not visualize something happening, right? It's kind of crazy. It's stuck with me for years.
Yeah, no, I get that. I want to like go back to the question, like when you say like you do songs at like the a certain portion of the songs.
Yeah.
That's something I've been trying to do. The thing, okay, I'm guessing you kind of know this recently. I haven't talked much about it, but I don't post much like music videos as I do like in the past, and that's because of like the whole like Twitter thing, like the DMC stuff.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
I haven't been hit with anything yet, funnily enough. But then again, I use like the songs I've used are usually the ones that like don't typically get even like muted on Twitch or anything, like, or DMCA'd at all like anywhere else. So I've kind of been like lucky, I guess. I did have one, like this was years ago before I even like did streaming. I had like a DMCA on my Twitter for like some reason, and like I didn't even have like 100 followers yet. Like Twitter like just warned me being like, hey, like you posted like something copy. I was like, was it like a meme I photoshopped? Like, because anything I posted back then was something I made, right, in like Photoshop, right? Because I used to make like some memes here and there, and so I would be like, is it someone copyright like my own thing that I made? Like who's
my own
like
meme?
What, like where? And like they don't tell you what it is. At least for me with Twitter, they didn't tell me. I don't know for you if they tell you or if they just give you like the warning, like the slap on the wrist without saying what the slap was for. Because that's what they did to me. They're like, be careful with what you post, but it's like you didn't tell me which thing got me in trouble.
You don't tell me.
Place. Yeah.
Oh, when I got hit, well, I got hit twice by fucking the same time, or not the same time, but the same like Sony, same.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I keep hitting the chair.
What I do is I open up the little radio menu so I don't hit the chairs on accident. That's what I did. Your little
Can I
radio
do that?
minis on
But
your
yeah.
hands, yeah.
But I don't know what they say. Like I got hit by like a bot because I tried like reappealing because I wasn't sure if my stuff was under fair use because I was using the music video, but the music video wasn't like the main like type of thing, and I wasn't using the full song. I tried like reappealing it, like saying like, hey, you know what? I'm not promoting your song. I like credited and everything, and no one came back to me with that. So I was just like, well,
Yeah.
you know what? Whatever.
It's because like fair use is such a gray area, unfortunately. Like it's because I studied like media and stuff because I wanted to go into like making like growing up. I went through like a lot of phases in life, but like in high school I was like I fell in love with this like one class. It was like a newsroom thing, right? And it was like media oriented and related and stuff. And I was like, I want to do this. This seems like a cool thing that I want to do in life, and like maybe teach it at like a school at some point, right? Because I liked working with cameras. I liked the whole aspect of like mass media and like YouTube and obviously like Vines, TikToks, whatever was out at that time. And I was like, this is interesting to me. I like these things and like how they can like keep people's attention. And so one of the things I studied at one point was like the copyright laws and stuff, right? And it's like, unfortunately, what sucks about it is that until we update these laws, fair use will always kind of be like super easy to like abuse, especially on things like YouTube and stuff where like it's such a massive platform that it's very unrealistic for someone to manually go through, right? And like Twitter even, right? Or like any other thing that has like fair use and like ways to strike people, it's impossible for like someone to go and like be like, oh, this is fine, because there's so many things being uploaded like every second at this point. It's not even like minute, it's like every second something is being posted, right? And so because of how fair use is so like outdated and like copyright laws are so outdated because they were made back in like what, the 70s, 80s, right? Like back then you were copyrighting stuff that would only play on like the radio, right? Like or whatever. There wasn't too much to it, right? But now we live in like an era of like media kind of like runs like the world, right? Like there's always something on TV, always something on like online. And so now
we're surrounded by like
we're surrounded by it. And so it's like it's until that stuff gets like properly updated, people are going to get hit with shit just for like no reason, right? And it's scary because like they don't tell us what it is most of the time, right? It's just an automated response because that's all they can do is have like automated bots go through and be like, that's a no, you can't post that. And then you're just stuck there like what's the no? Where did it go wrong? The bot will be like, if you want more help, just submit a ticket. And it's like you submit the ticket, but like they don't get back to you. We won't say anything to you, but like you can submit it, it's there.
You can still try.
Yeah, go ahead and try, but like we won't answer you until like maybe like a week or two, or until you forget about it. We'll help you forget about it before we have to answer it. Like it's crazy. It's insane. It kind of makes me sad because like I love that stuff, right? Like I love seeing people take something and then like transform it into something new. It's probably like one of the best things, right? Like you're super creative, so it's like it's super cool to see what you make, right? And like other people that they make stuff like Crash Sune, right? Like Crash Sune makes like really cool stuff, right? And like there's like a handful of others that I for some reason can't remember the names to until I see them like actually post on my Twitter. But like there's a lot of people who do like really cool stuff, and so like I can't imagine a world where like where fair use doesn't get updated and we get to a point where like nobody wants to post anything because, well, what are we supposed to do if we don't know where the line is, right?
We have nothing to post.
At some point everyone's gonna get DMCA'd and copyrighted or like even threatened with like shit. So it's like we gotta get to like a point where we hopefully update that stuff or like communicate better with our creators, right? Like Twitch is not innocent of this. YouTube, TikTok, I imagine, right?
Like, there should really be like a revamp on how DMCA like really is, like how it works, because I personally think, okay, I am not a lawyer, I am not saying I'm a lawyer, but like think about it, you made your own song and it's not doing good, someone takes your song, transforms it by using some sort of content, and then pushes it back out, but they credit you, and then you start getting, you know, more
Yeah, they come back
views,
to
you know,
your
you get
original
more
one.
like publicity. Yeah, that is what I would think would be, you know, pretty
Beneficial,
logical, pretty like
right?
fair,
Yeah.
you know, beneficial, because both parties both win. But like nowadays, oh, say for example, I take this song, I don't know, I get like 1 million views on like this video I made from that song, and I credit and I put the post, but then I get DMCA'd. It's like
They take it down, and
all
they
the
take
views, and
everything
they're
you've
like,
done.
all right, then fuck you. Oh, sorry. I didn't say like, you know, you're done. You know, you
No,
can't.
you're fine.
post
You
your
can
stuff.
you
We
can
just
curse
took
if you want to. If that's
all
why
these
you're like
stuff.
sorry, you can. You're fine.
I stopped. I just that came out like.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Go off. Like it's frustrating. Like I feel your pain because like I would have because again I did like anime music videos and Newscape music videos, and like you know I wanted to show one to the Green Men, right? And then because of like DMCA and like copyright laws, right? Like the one I wanted to show him, which is like the one I spent the most time on back in high school, is not available in the UK because of like copyright stuff. It's not available, like it gets like restricted in certain regions. That's another thing too, right? Is like some maybe they won't take your video down or hit anything, but they'll restrict who gets to see it because of it, right? A lot of my videos have that while they're still up on that channel, right? Not everyone can see it, so it kind of, you know, I didn't expect for the YouTube channel to blow up by making AMBs and RuneScape music videos. Like, it's not like I expected it to like, you know, get tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but like, you know, sometimes a video would do really well, other times it wouldn't even break like 10 views because like, you know, it would get caught in the system and then it would get shot in the foot before it gets to like, you know, leave the ground, right? And it's kind of like, and like one thing that gets me the most about like DMCA is that 9 times out of 10 it's not even like the person themselves that does it, like, you know, the musician or whatever. It's usually the labels. It's usually like the people above, like, you know, the creator of the thing themselves, right? Like maybe let's say you wanted to use like, I don't know, who's someone that's like relatively popular and like they're like Post Malone. Let's say a Post Malone song, right? Like for some reason you hear like a Post Malone song, you're like, I want to like make a thing to this song, right? 9 times out of 10 or like 99% of like sure that like Post Malone will have no idea you made anything with his songs, right? Unless it like gets to him. But like 100% of the time it'll be his label, like his brand of people, like, you know, that he works under, that go like, that's making money, we want it. So they'll strike you, they'll claim you, whatever, like take it down, right? And then they'll just take all of your work from you, kind of thing. And it's kind of unfortunate because like that's where the problem really is, in my opinion. Is it's like we need to like update the laws for that stuff. And not only that, but like the higher ups, the people in like the suits, right, the big CEOs, the record labels and stuff, need to like learn that they can use us to like make money and not so much take from us to like further gain themselves. Because like it's like we mentioned earlier, right? Like at some point people are going to be too scared to post anything, and you, like you said, right, it's kind of like free promotion, right? I can't tell you how many times I would like watch some random like anime music video or like some edit of some sort of animation that uses like a song, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like a really good song, and I'll look in like the description or somewhere wherever they might have like posted to like, you know, credit the song and the artist, and then I'll go and like I listen to that one song and like suddenly I go through their whole album or like something, right? And like I add them to like a playlist on Spotify and I just actively listen to them, right? Like it's, I feel like there's the mutual like you can mutually benefit, you know? The creator gets to make their cool thing, and then you guys get like money and like more views because cool creator made something really awesome that like popped off. And then now, you know, both live happy. But no, they don't want that. It's just only they get to be happy, and the rest of us have to sit in our corners and play nice, right? It makes me sad.
It's the grim future, but
Yeah.
hopefully there's some sort of like, you know,
Yeah, some kind of like middle
drastic
ground
change,
or
you know.
something. Yeah, like an
Middle-
update
yeah,
of sorts,
right?
where it's like both parties can mutually like benefit from each other and like kind of, you know, work together in harmony, you know. because
definitely.
that's the dream for me, at least. I want to see something like that where like people can continue to create, because I like seeing that stuff. I like seeing the creative side of people like on VR chat or just on YouTube, TikTok, and like letting them have that freedom to post whatever whenever, right? So like, oh, like, you know, like, what is it? This isn't like VR chat related, but like in terms of like copyright stuff, right? Winnie the Pooh is now like up in public because of like, you know, their copyright on that ran out, and now there's a horror movie being made on it, right? Because they're no longer, yeah, it's public domain now, right? It's like, imagine like, you know, if something like that can be made, right, because it's in the public domain and you can't get like struck by anything for it. Imagine all the other things that could be made, right? I mean, who knows if the movie will like flop or do well or whatever, right? That doesn't matter. Just the fact that it's a possibility. Imagine if we weren't so restrictive on like certain properties or IPs, what else people could make, right? Like, if Mickey Mouse were in the public domain, there could be like a Mickey Mouse anime or like horror movie or something, or like some kind of like whatever, right? You know, just imagine the possibilities of like things being out in the public domain, and you can just make whatever the fuck you want. You could make Mickey Mouse like Unity animations. You could do like.
I can't imagine.
It'd be so cool. You could make him into an anime girl or give him like a harem, you know, like.
Mickey Mouse harem?
Yeah, you know, you could surround him with like booth babes. It'd be sick.
Oh my god. You know, now that you like kind of brought up harem a bit, I'm not okay. Maybe it's not like exactly like correlated. But you know, I was always interested into like doing more like collab stuff. You know, like more stuff with like other like creators. It's something I don't know. I see it kind of often, more so like one or two. I know, like, you know, Section does like a whole like almost like
he'll like shotgun
people.
like he'll shoot his shot at like everyone. He'll like spread it around, and like whoever says yes kind of thing, right? You know. So like, yeah, but not a lot of people do that though. You're right? It's like it's only a handful of people that do that. So like,
it's just something like I was really interested. Like maybe like invite like people to be part of like some like animation stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I have like big projects or like even just like little shorts, because for some of my shorts I've been using like a placeholder window.
Yeah, placeholder stuff, and that's why I'm kind of like surprised, because like, with the previous animations you've done, like the really cool one with like Riley, right? The celebration one that you did with like Kanye's song, right? Like, you have all the avatars and stuff, so like I was always kind of surprised that you didn't ask them to see if you could like get permission to like use them, because I'd imagine they would say yes to be like a part of a little animated short, right? Like, you know, because obviously you have their avatars and all that stuff to work with. You know, they're clearly okay with you having the avatars, so I'd imagine they would say yes to you, right? Because, you know, it would be cool. I think it'd be cool. That's why whenever people like say like, oh, I didn't know if I could like ask you everything, I'm just like, I will give everyone permission. Like, I always say it all the time, right? Like,
whatever.
Like, do whatever. Like, I say it to my child all the time. Like, y'all can draw me, take my stream, and like do anything with it, make a meme out of it. I don't care. Just the only thing I ask at the end of the day is show it to me, right? Credit and like show it to me. That's all I care about, because I want to see what you do. I wanna you know, encourage creativity. And so like, that's why I really like your videos a lot and stuff, because like you kind of, especially the collab ones, right? Because you're kind of taking the people and like, you know, you credit them where credit is due, and they're like really fun, right? Like the, I don't know, they're all just so good. Like, there isn't one that like stands out to me as like a main one, because I like every single one of them about like equally. They're awesome. They're sick. Yeah, people, I think your animations are cool. They're really cool.
Yeah, I do plan to do like more like lesser ones, because you know, I have one plan where it's like, you know, a lot of people, you know, we're in touch with that. But I want to do like the shorter ones, where it's like maybe like 4 or 5 people without reusing the same people, because I would like to.
Yeah, you kind of want to rotate them, right?
Take
You want
take
to
everyone as I can, you know.
Yeah.
Have
Like
everyone included
maybe
instead of always.
I would say like maybe depending on like the audio you use, right? Like maybe it would be like let's say one audio bit would like really like fit like Remio's avatar, because I think you have Remy's, right? Or like whoever's you have, or like Kiwi's. I'm trying to think of like who you had in like the big thing with like Riley's thing, right? Like let's say something fits like one of their avatars for like an audio, you could just use them for that, and then like find another one that suits like someone else and just kind of rotate like that, right? Like, you know, if you're not doing like a music video thing, but you're doing like a little short meme thing that you've been doing, right? You know?
Yeah. I think it would bring like a lot of like diversity to it and make it very like nice.
No, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
It's just an idea.
I think it's a sick one. I think you should try it. Just like, you know, shoot your shot, just message people, be like, is it cool if I use yours for like, you know? Yeah, have you never heard the saying like shoot your shot? Or like, or you just like being like ooh sussy about it when you hear it like that, like shoot your shot?
It's just a sussy thing to say.
Because like I've said that for so long. You know? It's like, I don't know, I've said that for years now, and I've never. Well, then again, I guess you can with VR chat now, right? Obviously, most people you shoot your shot.
Yeah,
like,
everyone's sus
oh, well,
in this game.
Right? Like shoot your shot. You shoot your shot into me. Oh, well, I mean, what? Like kind of thing, you know. That's like most of VR chat, I feel. I mean, that's me, honestly. I'm the same way, so I can't like be like I'm innocent in this. I will take words out of context.
Yeah, I think VR chat changes a lot of people.
I feel like it enhanced my, because I was already weird as fuck before VR chat. It just kind of enhanced it, if anything. It now allows me to be weird, and people like it. So it's like, well, nobody's told me to stop yet, right? So I'm gonna keep going. Nobody said anything about it. Nobody's been like, Kitty, you're weird, like stop talking like that. Like, no, everyone's like, haha, Kitty, that's funny. Or they'll just make fun of me, and that's about it.
Haha, funny.
Yeah, haha, funny. But there's never been like a stop. So, but actually, that's a good. How were you? Did VR chat do anything for you? Like, cause you said you had like nobody before. It's like, would you say like it lets you be more of you now? Like, do you feel like you've come out of your shell in some way because of VR chat, or are you still feeling like is there still a side of Oshi that we haven't seen?
If you were to meet 2017 Oshi, I know some of my friends have, like my earlier friends, and I was hell of an introvert. Like I didn't talk as much. I kept to myself. I was kind of mute-ish sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like outgoing or like talkative like this. I was very like reclusive, and I think VR chat or the people in VR chat really helped me to like really find who I am and like express myself, like know what kind of stuff I would like to do, because VR chat kind of molded like, you know, what I do now and like maybe what I'm gonna do in the future, maybe as a career and such. Yeah. And you know, it really changed my life, honestly. A game about being an anime girl and like, you know, talking to, you know?
Yeah, no.
It's crazy. That's why you never expect, because like when I first started, I didn't know where I wanted to do. Like I was doing the accounting school, or the accounting program. At the same time, I wanted to also do or I guess like art, like drawing and all that. I did a bit of drawing.
Same. I used to want to do that too.
I really didn't know what I wanted to do, and it's just like until like I started doing more of like the animation stuff, which was a bit further during like the like VR, well, during my VRC, like I guess like timeline or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I never expected it.
I feel like no one did, honestly. Like when I first got into VR, I can't remember who it was. I think it was my friend Sopra or someone who was like, you know, not sure about VR chat they were like, someone in my friend group was like, I'm not so sure, man, we might get into it for like a week or two and then like, move on to the next thing. And then almost 3 years later, right, like, I'm still here. I'm still on VR chat. Most of us are still on here. A lot of us have made it like a livelihood, right? Like, or turned it into something more than just social game, right? Like, where we actually like do stuff. Like, I've turned it into like the whole streaming thing and content creation thing, and it's like, well, it's not my livelihood or anything. It's more of a hobby, right? For other people it is a livelihood. Some people have been able to take VR chat and go full time, either because they got put on the team, right, like the developer team and stuff, and like help work on the game now, or they found careers,
or like streaming.
Yeah, streaming, or they've just something, right, or like they get commissions to like make worlds, and they make enough money off of world creation to like make it a living, or like avatar creation commissions. Like, there's a lot of opportunity, like, in such a niche thing, funnily enough, right? Because like VR is still, well, I don't think it's like super niche, but it's like not everyone is like super into it for like VR chat, right? So it's still, I still think it's kind of niche to some extent, and like the fact that you can do so much of it is really impressive to me, right? And how like VR chat can like grab sponsors and all that, because there's clearly an interest, right?
I can definitely see VRC being like something very, very big, very mainstream, but it's just like there's not much like advertisements or like publicity. There are a lot of videos, like there's the TikTok videos, there's like YouTube videos and all that, but I think like maybe I don't know, I think the general like population for VR chat is like 80,000 or something like that.
Yeah, which is like really small in the grand scheme of things.
Right? I would probably think like maybe in a few years, once VR like turns a bit more up there, like mainstream, like what Oculus
more
is
like
doing,
consumer
trying to,
friendly,
like, get it out there. Yeah, I think it can be up in like in the millions.
Oh, 100%.
If anything,
yeah.
And it will just like be crazy. Unless I'm looking forward for the future. It's only up from here. Then again, like there hasn't been anything recently, like no new headsets or anything like that.
No, nothing like that, unfortunately. But like there at least was like a mainstream thing with like HBO with like the We Met in VR thing, right? So like there is like now something out there for people to look at and be like, I wonder what this is, kind of thing, right? But I do feel bad because like I don't know if you noticed it too, or like you saw it on Twitter, where it's like literally as it dropped on HBO, it was also around the time where the EAC like drama was happening, right? So like VR chat was trending on Twitter like again, right? So it's like it was such an unfortunate like timing, because like there's articles about the movie being out, but then there's articles about like the VR chat community being absolutely toxic for like a week or so, right? Where it's just like oh wow, wonderful documentary about like relationships and love in VR. Also, literally everyone in this game saying fuck you to the development team because of an in-game update. Like, oh okay, that's cool. Wow, this seems like a really lovely community from like this one HBO like article thing, right? Let's see what this other article's about, right? Death threats, swatting, and like whatever, doxing. Like, oh okay, never mind. Maybe not. Maybe we'll stay back from the VR chat community for a little bit, right? It's so unfortunate. Oh gosh.
That was just poor timing.
My god. That was VR chat's time to like really shine in the light, and then they shot themselves in the foot, like by poor, because I still believe it was poor announcing and like implementation of the update. I didn't hate the update because I'm not a mod user, so it's not like I was like, man, they're taking all our stuff. It was more just like I feel like the way they threw it out was kind of like not planned well, right? I feel like they could have rolled it out a little more, like a little like the way they are now, kind of thing, right? Where it's like little updates here and there, and then drop like the big bomb of like EAC or whatever everyone had problems with, right? Because right now they're doing great.
All of like the feature stuff they added after EAC, I think they should have put they should have
before,
had some sort of
or
like
some kind of
precaution, you know,
like a roadmap of some
hey
sort.
guys. Yeah, like, hey guys, we're going to implement like an anti-cheat. What would you like us to add so you know you don't have to completely like hate us?
Yeah,
You know, maybe even like get ideas from like I don't know, or hire like I know they're hiring mod creators, but like the community stuff and all that. Because hitting it once and then saying, all right, well that's it.
Yeah. Like,
and then getting
we
the
expected
backlash
this.
and then doing this stuff. It's like,
yeah. Oh. It's kind of no, I agree with that. It just because I remember I talked about it and I was like, I feel like it's a fault on like both ends. Like the community shouldn't have reacted the way it did, because I feel like in any time something you don't like ever comes up, like in any shape or form, it's never constructive or good for either party to like jump ship with threats or like anything negative, right? Like review bombing on Steam, that doesn't really help the development team if the review bomb or the negative review you're leaving now isn't constructive, because most of the reviews are just kind of like, they implemented EAC, fuck this game, right? Like nobody was really like super constructive. It was just a few, right? Or like the doxing or just like talking shit. Like this doesn't help the developers, right? And it also puts like that fear in them, right? Like what kind of development team wants to talk to their community if their community is going to immediately like go up in arms against them, right? Like, so, and it kind of sucks, but at the same time, you know, the development team should have communicated a little more beforehand. So, you know, it's kind of like both parties are guilty of something, unfortunately, right? Like there was no perfect reaction or response from either side, but at least the game's getting better now. Like all these updates are super sick, so things seem a lot better.
Honestly, I've been really enjoying the stuff they've been adding, like the new like UI stuff, the new like you know, having the mirror tracking stuff.
I'm still getting used to the new menu. The new menu thing is a little weird to me, right? Like how it opens up in front of you now. It's kind of weird, but obviously, right? Anything that's new, it's kind of like getting like a new phone that has like a new way to like, you know, run apps and stuff, right? Like it'll be a little like at first, but like once you know, learn where everything is.
Once you get to
yeah, because we're so used to one thing, so it'll be like, you know, take some used to, but it's still really sick. Like I like the way I like now when I open the world thing, now there's like categories. Like that was sick. Like that was the stuff that had me go like, what? Like I don't have to search a world. I can just go into like the tags or like the categories and be like, this is for like, you know, like multiplayer stuff or like avatar world stuff, like just whatever the tags are, right? Like I can just click on one and it'll give me everything, you know? Like that's sick. That's super nice.
It gives people kind of like a help or an idea of like, you know,
what they want to get to, right? Because like before it would just be like,
like what they want,
you know, it's just like what's popular now, what's like populated new, like very your recent stale, worlds, like just kind of like, you know, and it was just the same thing every time when you open it up, right? It's like LS Media, Black Cat, B Club, like you would see it all the time. You'd have to go to like new or like the trending thing to maybe see something that wouldn't show up normally, but like everything else you would see the same, right? Like murder, whatever, like you had to go out of your way to find stuff, right? So but now it's all in categories and it's super nice, you know. The one thing that confused me initially was also the social update, like the way like it organizes your friends and like avatars. That confused me for a bit.
Oh, like the filter stuff?
Yeah, because I remember I opened up my avatars menu the other day when I uploaded a new avatar, and it was like showing me like a mix of like my public avatars with like my own uploads, and I was like, why is this happening? And so I didn't realize there's like a little thing at the top like right to like organize it by like your uploads and stuff or whatever, right? And so it's like, oh, that confused me for like a hot minute, right? Because it's not like super obvious where the thing is.
It's just getting used to like all this different kind of stuff. I think it's a good step. The menu is less cluttered, like everything's just like very like streamlined, very nice. So
yeah, it's just confusing,
I'm happy
but
about it.
it's nicer.
Yeah, at first,
It's one of those things where like you look at it for the first like day when it's out and you're like, what? And then once you get used to it, it's like, okay, so I go here now instead of like down here, you know. And like the optimization stuff's been nice. For once I went to like parties and stuff without crashing like entirely. So
Oh, I
it's
wish.
so nice.
I wish I had that moment.
Yeah.
You want to know, when I would go to like those big meetups, I have to pre-hide avatars because as soon as I come in, everyone comes at spawn and I'm just like overwhelmed, like
oh yeah, no, so you're like me, it's like sometimes you'll join a world and then like everyone will come and be like, yo, hello, and then like they don't like, because they like to see you obviously, right? And this is nothing against them, but it's like you're loading them in, and it's like and you're just like, oh hi.
To them, it doesn't seem.
Like.
It seems so innocent to them. They're like, hiya, how are you? And then all of them are coming. You're just like,
yeah, you're like, give me like 2 minutes. Oh god, no, it happens more times than I can count, and it's like, honestly, it doesn't bug me. It's more because like it's like I love that people are happy to see me, so I'm not like upset or bothered by it. But it's just like, you know, it's those 2 minutes that you'll be dying, but it'll be worth it once you go through it because you get to see all the homies again. But now with the new safety settings, I don't die as badly now because it's like the radius thing, right? So like unless someone is like really close to me, I can see them, or I can't see them, kind of thing, right? That's like really nice. VR chat's getting better for sure, and I'm excited to see where it goes. You know, like you said, right? Maybe, you know, a few years from now, VR is gonna be like so much more exciting and stuff. I'm looking forward to a lot of it.
Dude, it's gonna be like SAO, just like lay down and just like, oh, I'm strapped in, you know.
There actually is like a headset like that right now, I think, but it's like hella expensive, or it's either it's made now and it's coming out, or they have made it but it's like not many people can get it because it's like really expensive. It's like a full-on like in bed VR system where like the way you would control it is like foot pedals and like things that are like, you know, when you're laying down like at your arms.
Pedals?
Yeah, there's like little foot pedals, and like the headset has like a pillow on it, and you just lay in bed, and like the screen is like above you and stuff, and it's like this whole like setup. I don't think it's out yet. I don't think it's like consumer ready, but it has been like at the very, from what I remember, it's like talked about and being worked on, right? Like I don't know if you watch like Thrill Seeker at all, but like he's done like videos on it and stuff, right? Yeah, he did a video on it a few times here and there, like talking about it. You know, there's even like been things made to like control stuff with like your brain, like VR like things like control like some games that work off of just like your brain stuff. Yeah. Imagine being able to play VR chat where it's like, you know, you don't need controllers, you just attach that like brain thing, whatever, like reads your like brain waves or whatever, and like you can walk around just by like thinking to yourself walk, and then like just
walk. Run,
jump, grab cup.
I think it would be a bit more like I don't know how would you even like do that, because like you're so used to like motor function, right? Like moving your
I feel
arms
like you
and
would
that.
still like move your hand and think of it while you do it, right? So like grabbing the smug, I wouldn't have a control in my hand, but my brain would be like and like I'd grab it in game too, and I'd be like, whoa, like Phantom Sense goes like skyrockets because of it. I feel like that would be the case.
Like, just imagining, or just like, I guess so I see what you mean.
Yeah where it's like, obviously it's not just like walk forward, like you would, oh god, wait, that would actually be really bad though, like in hindsight, because like to walk, imagine like you physically walk and you're just like I'm imagining all the people now, like they only have the headset, it's like wireless, but now they're walking in a shit into their room because like, you know, you don't need controllers anymore, it's all like brainwave stuff, and now it's like you walk into your desk now.
Oh,
I feel like
you
it's
can
gonna be
just
so
like run.
dangerous. Yeah. Have you
Oh,
seen those clips
okay,
of
with the.
people? Right, like the one really popular one of like the
Mm.
old man on like the plank that's like a dad or something. He's like balancing on like a beam
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
something,
I've seen
and
that.
like
Yeah.
he's supposed to jump, and then he jumps off the thing and like slams into like a TV. I feel like it'd be like that. I feel like that's would be like if we ever had the power to control VR with just our minds and no controllers, and that happened with controllers. He had controllers.
Holy.
Oh my god.
I think.
Oh.
I think the thing. When I see those types of videos, I was searching them up like the VR fail stuff. I would
Mhm.
love to experience that type of feeling again because
Yeah.
I think like, I'm not sure if you felt that way like when you first started, but when I first started playing VR and I put on a headset, you know the Steam VR Home, like
Yeah.
it's like on a mountaintop or something like that. I was at the bottom and
Oh.
I was just like going up I don't know. I think I was
Yeah,
off
yeah.
the plate. I didn't set up my play space. Like I just was in, so I was at the bottom of the mountain,
Mhm.
and then I was just climbing up, or I was just like moving, like using like the thingy. I don't know. This was back then, like when Steam VR was still kind of new. You were able to like move everywhere around the map.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as soon as I got to the top, I was looking down and I was just terrified.
No,
was
I
just
still
like,
get that. That's the thing.
there's
Like
no
that's
way.
that hasn't left me in VR yet. Like a lot of my Phantom Sense that I had like initially, some of it is like died down, right? Like where it's like, you know, where it's kind of like selective now, I guess, where it's like I don't get as like caught off guard by it anymore. But like a lot of things have still like stayed with me, where it's like vertigo. Like if I fall from like a high enough place in like VR, my body feels it like in real life. So
Yeah.
like I can't like jump off of things sometimes like in game because I still feel it. So I'm always like really thankful when worlds have like teleporters instead of something where you have to like drop down to like get somewhere. Because I hate jumping off of things in VR because I still get that like weird feeling of like I'm actually falling. And then flying still makes me like dizzy. Like I can't like fly stuff in VR without feeling like something weird. And I can't look over edges because I still have like, if a world has like a nice enough skybox and it's like convincing enough, if I look over an edge, I'm going to feel like I'm actually like on a physical edge like in real life, and I'm going to die if I take one step forward. Like it scares the crap out of me. Like I'm so bad.
Yeah, I think it's just how like your mind like perceives things. Like it thinks just that everything in VR is just how it is. Even if you spend like so many hours in VR, you still have that type of like
The imagination and stuff.
feeling
right?
that you're actually still here, you know? Like to the people
Yeah.
who don't have VR yet, like
Mhm.
even if you spend like 5 years, because I've been playing for like almost like 4 years, I
Yeah.
still kind of feel like I'm like, you know, here in a way.
Yeah.
And I can imagine with future headsets or like the brainwaves or whatever the future
Where
is
it's
gonna
like
bring,
way
like,
more
you're gonna feel even more
immersive.
immersed.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
like a headset with like FOV that's like almost the entirety of like the front of your face. Like could you imagine that? Like you don't see any bit of like lens at all. Like you only see like
Anything,
screen.
yeah.
Like that would be like that would kill me. I would be so
Absolutely.
immersed. Like I feel like my Phantom Sense and everything would come back tenfold if like not for the fact that I can still occasionally see like the lens and stuff, right? Because I feel like that's what keeps me grounded to some degree, is that I can still kind of be like, yes, I do have a
Yeah.
headset on, right? So because the controllers,
I'm
you don't
still
notice
in
them
real
after a
life.
while, right? Like you don't notice them right away. So but like everything else, so right, it's kind of like with the tundras now too, the tundra trackers, they're so much lighter than the 3.0s. Like it doesn't feel like I have full body on at all, like ever anymore.
Yeah. Wanted to get those. I got the 3.0s, but you know, I just kind of lived with it really.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I kind of had to upgrade
thing
because
I
one of my
do-
trackers is stuck to my foot strap, so it's like I kind of need something new now. Yeah, so like yeah, it's stuck. So like I have like the straps, right? And then they're like with two of my trackers, my hip and one of my feet trackers, I can twist them off. One of them, I think what happened is like the screw that gets held in place by like the thing, the little rubbery thing, I think it's like it now spins with the tracker, because I can't twist it off
You
anymore.
like tighten it.
Yeah, no,
Oh my
like,
God.
and the thing is, I didn't even like tighten it that much. Like, I just tightened it to a point where, like, you know, like where you finally feel it like not giving too much, right? Like, I don't tighten things till it's like, yeah, I can't take this off like ever again. It's just like enough to where, you know, to where like I can feel it kind of giving me a little bit of resistance to like twist it one more time, right? And so like one day I was taking them off because I wanted to plug in my track strap pluses, because it was like a party night. I wanted to be on like all day essentially, right? And as I was stuck there like rotating one of them for like a minute, and I'm like, man, this one's really like, I don't know, why is this one giving me so much trouble? What the heck? And then like I realized like it's just stuck. It's not going anywhere. I can't take it off. And so now whenever like the times you've seen me like, you know, at the parties or like I drink and like have my Trackstar Pluses on, my hip tracker is like the Trackstar Plus like hip strap, right? But on my legs I have the regular like things on my feet, and around my ankles I have the Trackstar Pluses connecting into my feet. So I look like a robot like on my legs, like my feet look like robot legs and stuff. And then when I get like the battery banks for my controllers, I have like wires going from my pockets up to my controller, so I really look like I'm some kind of like,
God.
yeah. I can only imagine like what like
Oh
my mom
God.
sees whenever she walks into the room, and like I'm like, I have all those wires on me, and she's just like, he's getting drunk and he's got all this stuff attached to him. That's so much.
Like all the Oh my God. I've had like a similar experience. When my mom sees me with like VR now, she's just kind of gotten used to it. But I think one time, this was a while back. I think I ordered pizza, right? I was in VR during that time, and I forgot that I ordered pizza, and he was ringing the doorbell. I was like, oh shit, wait, he's downstairs. So I rushed in, and I still had my stuff on.
Oh.
And I opened the door, and then he looked at me. He was like, wait, what is this? I had like the belt, the trackers, the controller still in my hand.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of embarrassed. I was like, wait, maybe he'll think it's some sort of like you know, like the mocap suits they wear at like filming movies. Yeah, I'm filming movies, guys. I'm filming.
I had a similar thing when I ordered alcohol from like Amazon once, and I had to go because they still ID you, obviously, or they have to like make sure you're old enough when you get it, even at like your doorstep.
You can get alcohol on Amazon?
Yeah, I bought Jack Daniels off of Amazon a few times.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't think we have that up here. What?
Really? I was able to just order it. Like, I remember I was like, because I wanted to be discreet about like buying alcohol from my parents, because I wasn't sure if they were cool with it. So I was like, I'll order it on Amazon, like same day shipping, because I have Prime, right? It'll get here in a few hours. I'll just answer the door because like nobody's home, right? And like I was in VR, and I was like, oh shoot, it's like around the time that like the package should get here, right? And so I ran downstairs like without realizing that I still had like my trackers and stuff on, and I was also in like my like shorts as well, and like I at least like I at least remembered that, like, you know, even though my thighs were on, I like rolled them down a bit, right? Because like I remembered that much that I had my thighs on. And so I like rolled them down to just kind of look like longer socks and stuff, and then I answered the door, and I was like, after taking the stuff from him and all that, and like going back up to me, I was like, I just answered the door in like short shorts, thigh highs, and my strap's still on me.
Dang. Oh my God. Was that the closest you've ever like showed like a stranger that you were like, you know?
Yeah, no, that's probably
up?
that's probably the closest I've gotten to anything like that, honestly.
Oh.
They were at least
Let me
rolled
tell you
down,
something.
so the thighs weren't too noticeable, but like, man. Oh God.
Wait, speaking of that, have you ever cosplayed before? Or went to
No,
convention to cosplay?
No, I've never done it because I never had the money to like buy stuff or whatever, right? So, or the confidence, really.
Okay. let me tell you a story. So, this was a year after I met like my friends in VR chat. They came up here to go to a anime convention, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was cosplaying one of my older avatars. Now, let me tell you, well, you know, I used to dress up before VR chat, but I wanted to cosplay my avatar, and it was my first time doing it in public, right?
Yeah.
So I was super nervous. I think what happened. Okay, so I brought all of my stuff into their hotel room, and one thing was I bought. Okay, I wear glasses, right?
Yeah.
Prescription glasses, and the thing is, I had to use contacts. I've never used contacts in my life, so I was just in the bathroom, just putting it on, and I was doing that for almost like an hour, like an hour and a half straight before the convention was starting, and everyone was just like,
God.
all right, Small, we're leaving now. And I was like, I gotta put this in, and I'm just like panicking and all that. But anyways, like they just like went and showed me. I just came up and like basically I didn't want them to leave because I didn't want to be going out in public like with like everything
On your
like
own,
that.
yeah,
like, people
by
just, like,
yourself.
yeah, because
You needed
I'm
the
just, like,
confidence boost from like being with other people. Wait, were they also dressing up too? No,
No,
okay, but you
they're
just needed
just
like
not-
the
I was
moral
only one.
support. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I had to walk through the main area, like the reception, and it was like a lot of old people, and they were just like
Oh
looking
no!
at me. And I was just so there because what my old avatar had, it had like horns, like really long, like oni horns,
Yeah, yeah.
wings, and like a devil tail and a chain like wrapped around my leg. So I was just like looking like something straight out of like biblical like
Yeah,
page
yeah.
or something like that, like a demon, and all they could hear is like my chains going as I walk because I was just kicking it around.
That's amazing. Oh my, that makes me think of like the anime conventions here. I feel like you would have definitely gotten some I don't know. I imagine they go to like regardless of where you are in the world, these people will always show up to like things like an anime con, right? But it's like for me here, there's Anime Expo in LA, right? And there will always, without fail, be like the Jesus people, right? That like have their signs up and stuff, being like, you know, you'll go to hell if you don't do this or whatever. Like you all are sinners, cause like, you know, anime is a sin or something or whatever. I can't imagine if like someone dressed up like you did, right? With like the chain going on, because they stand. These people are strategic. They stand at like the corners where like to get to the convention centers are. So like they'll be at the crosswalks and stuff, just like there to basically yell at you or like preach shit at you, where you kind of have to be. Yeah, no, they're strategic. They stand at places where they know people will be, so they can like preach their shit at you and stuff, right? Like they know that you need to be at this corner to cross the street, so they'll post up right there. They'll have like one or two people there, like, you know, shouting like, you know, pray to God and all that stuff, right? Like, leave this behind, this is sin and stuff. And like, it's crazy. I can't imagine. I feel like you would have gotten so much shit from one of them being like angel wing, devil and tail and horns and stuff. Have you ever had that? Like, do they go to your con? No?
I think I'm lucky to be where I am because Canada is a pretty like open, like very forward kind of thinking like
oh yeah,
country.
then you're lucky.
Especially like where I am, like Montreal, Quebec. Like they literally where the convention is, like there's a place called Gay Village. So like,
oh, then you're perfect. You don't have anything to worry about. No, the convention center here in LA is right in downtown, which is like the cesspool of bullshit. So like like you will find like crackheads and stuff like that, like down there, like fucking people just preaching about God just because they want to, not even because there's a convention going on, right? Like it's just a bunch of shit. But like they really like conglomerate like at Anime Expo, and like I think my favorite thing is I got to witness this one of the years that I went 2 years, and like I think it was the second year I went, someone cosplayed as Jesus with like a banner, like they had their sign, right? And they had like straight up like hentai kind of waifu like on it kind of thing, right? Being like, yeah, anime's cool, I like anime kind of thing. Just like posted up right next to the people. Like he just stood there next to them, right? And they can't do anything to him because like if they try and like push him or do anything, that's like assault, right? So he just had to deal with this dude dressed up as fucking Jesus Christ, looking really convincingly with an anime thing held up right next to him, being like, it's okay to like anime or whatever thing. Jesus loves anime too, right? So, there we were like, you'll go to hell, and Jesus is just behind him like, nah, you guys are fine.
That's alright.
It's okay.
All right, wait. I know, I'm guessing, are your parents pretty like what do they think about like you being on VR and all that? Like, have you ever told them about that?
I haven't told them exactly what I do, but my mom like once caught. I turn off my second monitor now, which has my OBS, because my mom like once actually like decided to look at my monitor when I was streaming, right? And since I'm not like the POV streamer like some people are, right, where it's like you see from my POV, you see the camera facing at me, and she is like, I noticed that like little character on the screen moves the way you do. And I was like, and then she was like, is that like, is this what you do kind of thing? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, why is it a girl? I was like, it's not a girl, I swear, just looks like one.
Very feminine boy, just,
yeah. And like I think she's like, she has maybe ideas, but like she doesn't like fully think I'm that way because I have a girlfriend. So like in her head I'm probably just weird, but not like gay or something, right? Like, she'll be like, she doesn't understand it, and like maybe she'll never understand it and just kind of questions it for sure, but like she at least doesn't know like everything about me, right? Because like she saw like the shorts when they got here from like Throne and stuff, when Yuki bought me on my Throne like these like the women's shorts, right? And she saw them and all that, and like gave me like this whole talk about it, and I was like, mine, give me kind of thing, right? Like you're not gonna take it away, right? And so she kind of like knows of things and is like, I guess she right now she's kind of in like, she was in like a sus phase. She's kind of like not in that phase anymore, and now I turn off my second monitor as well where my OBS and stuff is, so like if she does even like remotely want to have interest to like look at it, she can't, because like she doesn't know what computers are or how they work, so like she wouldn't even know where the on button is to like look at it and turn it back off to be like, all right, I caught a sneak peek, right? So
old people mentality.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if she ever found out, for sure she would not be okay with any of it. She'd be like, stop that.
Like is she like super religious?
Yeah, no, she is 100% like super religious. Like she'll like listen to like sermons and stuff like on her phone, like on YouTube. Like there'll be like verses or stuff, whatever, that like you can, because YouTube has like anything at this point, right? She'll like listen to stuff on YouTube while she's like cooking, that's like, like, and in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, right? Like, just all these things, right? Mine too. Yeah. And so like, it's one of those things where it's like I'm cautious now, right? Ever since she's learned, but like at some point I will probably move out once I have like the money for it. I'll probably try and get to my own place, either with people or like on my own, right? By whatever means necessary. And then like, that's why like when I mentioned earlier, like streaming isn't so much like the livelihood, but it does get me some money. So like obviously whatever I make from my job and streaming at some point down the road will go towards like, moving out with, the idea is to move out with friends and like have like a little homie house, right, with like the close friends and like my girlfriend and all that. So, and then whenever we get there, I can wear all the gay shit, is like how I like to describe it.
The dream.
Yeah, the dream. Because I want to go to Washington. That's where we all want to move up to, is up to Washington, which is funny because like that's where Lulu lives, and I think our goal is to try and like live, funnily enough, in like the same area that he's in too, like just coincidentally. So depending on how things go, I might have Lulu as a neighbor.
Dang.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Honestly, I've been also thinking of something similar. Just like move in with like either friends or
Yeah.
like okay, so going back to like how everything was, my mom is also like super religious. The thing is like when I used to do dress up stuff, she did see like, you know, I had like the stuff for the con, but back then I would say that like, oh, my friend came over and they left their stuff, you know?
Yeah, that kind of excuse.
So that was my that was my excuse. She got very sus ever since because it didn't make sense to her, but you know, she kind of went with it. It wasn't until I think more recently, because she knows that I make animations. She knows I do
I was gonna
model
ask,
stuff,
right?
but
Like, has she seen the stuff that you do to some extent? So she kind of knows, right? No, like nothing.
she doesn't know. She doesn't know the type of. Well, she knows I make animations of like anime girls.
The stuff.
Obviously, yeah.
But she doesn't know that
She
those
knows-
anime girls are like you, right?
Yeah. She doesn't know anything about that. Like, when it comes to like the model stuff, she gets kind of sus about it. She's like, "Oh, are you making these like Barbie girl like?"
My mom says like the
for,
same
your
thing.
friends or something?
Like she'll be like, "What are those little
yeah.
like?" But like in Spanish, because like my parents don't speak English very well, so she'll be like muñequitas, which is like little toys, right? Those little dolls like that you play with. And I would always look at her like, dolls? Like what dolls? I don't know what you're talking about. Like I'd play ignorant, so that way she'd like stop asking questions essentially, right? So oh god.
Yeah, it's just like they don't. I understand how I'd be old mentality. I don't want to be mean, because I understand that they don't really understand what you're doing and what, like, you know, implies. But like when you try explaining it or anything, they just, you know.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, I don't understand it. It's whatever.
Alright,
You know it better than me.
This.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm like thankful about about my mom like not knowing too much, right? So where it's kind of like you know, the second I just tell her like, you wouldn't understand, because like I tried to explain streaming to her, because I told her that I would stream, right? My mom knows that I stream. She knows what I do to a degree. She knows that this makes me money. But like you know, it was kind of like anytime she asks like, you know, is this a part of the thing, I'd be like, I could explain it to you again, but like obviously if you're coming back and asking me like, is this part of it, right? Then like there's no reason for me to explain it to you, because you're not understand. So like I have that kind of like argument going for with my mom whenever anything comes up, right? Where it's like, you know, I don't have to explain anything to her, because I just hit her with the like, you don't get this shit, mom. You'll never get it. You don't get it. I could explain it to you 1,000 times. You won't get it. And she's like, she'll just be like, all right, I guess, and then like leave, like walk out. It's like, whatever. You do you. Just focus on your job stuff and all that still on the side. Like, don't get too invested in this, right? You know.
It's when I try explaining everything to my mom, I say that when I'm playing this game, it's more of like having someone to talk to, having something to do while I'm just like, you know, home, coming back from school and all type of stuff like that. Like, just keep me occupied, you know, have like a side type of thing while I'm still like going to class. But it's like, even though like because I have like the Ko-Fi stuff and also like streaming stuff at the same time, I get some sort of like income from that, and I try to like show her like, hey, you know, the stuff I do, like, you know,
Like it does make
I
something,
gain
right?
from it, you know.
Yeah.
I make something from it, but she's just like so on the board of like, you know, if you keep doing this, like it's not good for you. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't make a living
Yeah.
off of that.
The
Well, you
very
can't be
traditional like
successful and all
mindset.
that.
The very like,
Like you need to
traditional
be.
conservative parent like mindset where it's like 9 to 5 job, school. This will get you like, this is a tried and true. It works. Nobody will ever make a living doing like Twitch streaming or anything, right? And it's like, it's funny because I've told my mom before, and like, it's like, there have been months where I make literally the same amount as minimum wage here, if not double sometimes, depending on like how well that month was, right? And like what I did. And like unfortunately I do kind of spend a lot of it on like booth and stuff, right? Or like games for streaming. It does go back into the streaming thing, right?
You know,
Investments, right?
it goes back
But
in,
like
yeah.
I'm still profiting. Like I've not had any money where it's like where I'm in the negatives and stuff. Like I'm still, it's just like, I feel like it would be the same if I was working my job and didn't stream. I would still be spending my paycheck money about the same amount, right? So now that I have my part-time job again, right, and I'm streaming, now I have essentially just a net like positive all throughout, right? And so like,
Mm.
I want her to like realize that like, yeah, I can do this, right? And obviously if I just kind of chill with my booth addiction and stuff a bit, I could like really make more money out of it and could quite literally succeed with a part-time job while streaming, because she has this mentality of like,
Yeah.
you can't do that and this at the same time and like expect to like live off of it. It's like, no, I quite literally can. It's just a matter of like,
Mhm.
I just need to manage stuff better, obviously, and like, like time is I think what I need. Like money wise, I can just stop buying boost stuff, that's fine. I can, or like stop putting things back into it, but I can like, if I can manage my time and like really buckle down more on like the YouTube side of things to try and get that going at some point, right? And like maybe even TikTok as well, and like really learn how to balance everything along with work. And like same with you, right? Like for school and stuff, and if you ever do like something outside of streaming, right? Like if people learn to just manage their stuff, I feel like they can just kind of hop off and like continue to do what they love and make a living from it, right? That's like the beauty of VR chat, because we talked about this earlier. Like a lot of people get like their jobs through VR chat. Funny enough, like Sopra managed to land his job that he had because of all the stuff he learned and did on VR chat, right? Like if not for this game, he probably wouldn't be having the job that he had, right? And making the money that he did. And there's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of others who are in that similar, place, right? If like VR chat was like a nothing thing, there wouldn't have been a documentary about it on HBO, right? There wouldn't be all these like, sponsor people like looking into throwing money at the developers to continue funding this game and like making it better, right? And like obviously there is a way to do it, and it's Twitch streaming, right? There's streamers on VR chat who make, I'd imagine, enough to really treat this like it's their job, so it's possible, and it's a shot in the dark. It's not like everyone's guaranteed to succeed, right? It's a risk, but to say that it's not possible and that you will never be able to, I feel it's just like that traditional mindset of like, older generations not understanding that a YouTuber now can quite literally make the same amount of money, if not more, as like someone who works a traditional job, right? Because we're in that era now. We're in that like time where that shit's just possible now. Years ago, if like, let's say this is like the start of Twitch, and let's say VR chat existed a few years back when like Twitch first kind of, got its footing, right? I wouldn't disagree with my mom. She was like, this won't go anywhere, because like at the time a lot of people probably wouldn't imagine this going anywhere, right? But now you have kids at schools. There's been a study on this where it's like a lot of kids at school will write what they want to do in the future. There's a vast majority of kids who are like, I want to do YouTube, right? Like It's because they know it's like a career path, and I think that there are
They know
even
it's successful,
schools. Yeah, and I think there are even some schools now, a very small amount, that actually have programs that help you kind of like learn how to do things to become one, which is kind of crazy to me. Like they have stuff to like teach you like the video editing side of things and like recording and like all that stuff and like Photoshop and
thumbnails.
yeah, like to help you kind of like learn that stuff. Whereas like I just kind of did it randomly. I just so happened like I did Photoshop just because I found graphic design to be fun because it was a part of like art and stuff, right? And then I took like the news class thing. Like I had no intentions of being a YouTuber or like Twitch streamer at all growing up. It wasn't until I decided one year when like my mom was like the reason this whole thing started, like streaming started for me, is because Ninja was blowing up around this time. And my mom was telling me, because she likes to tell me all the time about what she sees on the news and all that stuff, right? And she's like, you know, I saw this one thing on the news about how someone makes money playing video games. Why haven't you ever tried that, right?
Why
like,
aren't you doing
yeah,
that?
like, why haven't you tried that? And like, I would look at my mom like, hello? Like, for years growing up, you've told me nothing but video games are a waste of time, waste of money. They'll never get you anywhere, right? Like, how am I, as your son,
as soon
in
as the money is
confidence?
involved.
Yeah, right? Like, how am I in confidence going to tell you, you know, I think it'd be cool if you guys let me try this YouTube thing, if for years you told me, no, the waste of money.
No.
Like, my mom would constantly, like, reiterate to me, like, you know, I wish I never let your dad buy you that PlayStation for your birthday, because now you guys are, like, addicted and stuff. Like, how am I supposed to be like, hey, mom, you know, you can make money doing this stuff if, like, this is all you've shown me for years that like you wouldn't support it. And even now that I'm making some money out of it, your support is kind of like it's there, but it's like backhanded or something. It's like kind of like, you know, like, yeah, you're making money, but like you're just putting it back into the stuff, and it's like that doesn't, I don't know, right? Like it's kind of like it's not like support like you're accepting that it makes me money, but you're also like giving me like a thing where it's like it's still a negative in your eyes, right? And so like you know, and so that's why I started streaming, was because of Ninja. Basically my mom was like, this man's making lots of money, why don't you try it? And so I started off like desktop streaming and stuff. I still remember the day I got my first $100 on Twitch, and I was like, yo, look at that. Yo, I made money. Let's go.
Oh my god, I got
that first check. And I'm pissed because I had to switch from like checks to like straight up money into my PayPal, because like I think it was like my second or third check that got like lost. It never arrived to me. And like I contacted Twitch support to be like, hey, so like it's been over a week since you said you were gonna send me the check and it hasn't arrived yet, what happened? And they were like, not our problem, chief. Like we sent it,
Call
don't know what to tell
FedEx.
you. Yeah, like call the other people, we have nothing to do with it. And I was like, well, I guess my shit got yoinked or something, I don't know. It happened for 2 paychecks. Happened twice. And after that, granted, it was, the paychecks were like $100 something, right? It's not like I was making like more than that, so like, you know, but it still hurts. It's still like
it meant a lot.
right, because that's my only revenue at the time, because all I had was birthday money outside of that, because my parents wouldn't let me actually like work a job. This is stuff I was doing like in my downtime from school, right? Like, so $100 is like, man, that's kind of that's some stuff that I could use towards school, you know. But luckily I changed over to PayPal and stuff, so now I've been a lot safer. Yeah.
All right, I remember something. You reminded me when you said your mom told you about they saw something on the news. Okay. So this is kind of like a punch to the face, and like it's a punch to my face, and I still regret to this day, but I felt like I couldn't be able to do it because my mom. So this was back in, I think it was like 2010, and you know, Bitcoin
oh
was still,
my
you know,
god,
under the radar.
Yeah, it was
this
like
is what hurts. So okay, so back then I found out a thing. I was an ignorant child, I searched up on YouTube how to make money for free.
Oh.
So I was searching that up. Someone, I think it was some random tutorial, and he said like you could buy this thing called a Bitcoin miner, and it basically you leave your PC on, and it just like generates these coins, and you can sell them. But back then, Bitcoin was just like
it was nothing.
it
Like
wasn't-
nobody knew what it was. It didn't
nothing.
apply to anything.
Yeah, it was.
right?
Yeah, I think back then it was like $1,000 for like one Bitcoin. But the thing is, my PC was so bad. It was like I think it was called micro Bitcoin. It was like like so many decibels, like after the zeros. Like it would probably take a whole like 2 years just to get like $1 or like something like that. But I was like, oh, what this Bitcoin thing? I told my mom about it, right? I was like, can I have $1,000?
Can we get like a big computer so I can mine money for free? So I can just get free
can I mine like all that? And then she she said, no wait. I think no back then it was it was like 500 something. It was 500. I don't know, it wasn't like a big amount like that. But I asked her like, oh yo, can you give me this so I can like buy it? And she's obviously like
she's like, no.
If your child asks you for 500, just like no.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I was just mining with my like really shitty laptop and all that. And like all the way to this day, now that I see where it was going, if she would have given me that money, man.
If you had like pressed her and been like, you don't understand, this is gonna be like the next big thing, Mom. You don't understand.
This is it. This is it.
Oh my
You
god.
lost out.
Did you hear about the one dude
Actually
that
did.
like when Bitcoin was still kind of like not on the rise, but like it was showing some kind of promise, but like this one dude had like a shit ton of Bitcoin, and he was like, I don't know what to do with it, so he like asked somebody if they could buy him a pizza, and like he would give them Bitcoin for the pizza. Right? And it was like, I think the first ever transaction of like Bitcoin for something, of like somebody trading something for Bitcoin, and it was like a $20 pizza, and I think it was like 1,000 Bitcoin or something, right? Like for this one pizza or something. It was like 100 or 1,000. It was a shit ton of Bitcoin, right? And like they interviewed him, somebody interviewed him and talked to him, and like that they ate the pizza. He's like, yeah, the pizza was really good. And then like the dude asked him like, did you at least like keep the box as like a memento, right, as like a souvenir of like, hey, this was the day I bought, like, so he's like, nah, I threw it away like that day and stuff. And he's just like, man, like, and like just imagining, because like I forget like the max that Bitcoin went up to. It was, it would go down as like the world's most expensive like Papa John's pizza, because I think it was like Papa John's or some shit, right? And just like all that Bitcoin, and whoever had the Bitcoin, if he sold that when Bitcoin peaked, that person is set for life. Like he's because that is so much money. Oh my god, dude, that is insane to me.
It's crazy to see like so many like people back then, they didn't know what it was, just dabbling in it. So imagine you bought it like when it was like $10 like a piece, and then you just bought like for the fun of it, I bought like 1,000.
Yeah, you treat it like a
worth of,
lottery
like,
ticket,
Bitcoins,
right? You're just like, I'll buy a few.
And then you forget about it. You just forget about it because you're like, I just wasted my money. $1,000 is still a lot, but say for example you just had it there and you're just like, I forgot about it.
Passively getting more expensive.
It just gets more and more, and then you're like, wait a second, I have this Bitcoin thing, and then you forgot your password.
Yeah, you forget your password. It's like, yeah. Man, my millions of dollars is now locked behind two-factor authentication, and I don't remember what.
It's locked behind my first hamster's name.
Oh fuck. God. I hate
Dude,
those questions sometimes, because like it would ask me, like, sometimes I had the security questions where it's like there can only be one answer, and then I would write it, right? And I'd be like, is it cap sensitive? Is it not? Like, what is it? And they'd be telling me it's wrong. It's like, dude, I still, cause like I'm dumb. I can remember a lot of like pointless things in my life that don't matter and won't benefit me in life, right? Like there was one question, it's like, what is the name of like your first plushie? And like I remember it was a Build-A-Bear koala. I couldn't think of a name for him, so I just called him Koala. And so like one of the security questions was like,
Koala.
yeah, and it like I couldn't remember my password, so I was like, oh well, here's one of the security questions you answered that you need to answer. What was the name of your first plushie? And I was like, Koala. The website is like, wrong. Yeah, it's not. You did it wrong. And I was like, well, is it like case sensitive? Capital K, koala. Wrong. All right, did I type it? Cola. Just like going through every kind of like iteration of like what could I have like written koala as? So they'd be like, you're wrong,
typo.
dude. Yeah. Like, and it's just. Luckily, I managed
so
to get
bad.
in like to the thing through like another mean. I forget the other method they had, but it was like, you put me through like 10 minutes of hassle just because like you don't believe that my plushie's name was koala or something. Like I feel like the AI was just against me that day or something. I don't know. 'Cause I swear on like my life that the only other plushie I could have put on there is like the name would be like this IKEA like pillow that I got that looked like a. Have you ever watched what was it, Clanad, the little dongos? I had a pillow that looked like the green dongo, but I didn't call it dongo. I called him Smiley Face because he didn't have an actual smile on his face.
Smiley face.
Yeah, so I named him Smiley Face because like anytime I saw him, it put a smile on my face. So, despite him not having one,
Oh.
so I was like, it can only be koala or Smiley Face, and I tried both, and I got wrong on both of them for some reason. So I was like, well, let's try the other method of getting into my. I forget what it was for. It was some website of like something. Can't remember what, but like I was trying to get back into it because it's one of those things where it's like you suddenly remember you have like an account on something. You're like, I wonder what's going on this like website now or something, right? And I couldn't remember for the life of me what it was. It's probably some like MMO that I used to play and I don't remember. But that shit still lives with me rent free to this day, where it's like website really told me that I'm wrong when there's only 2 things in my life that I could have named that was a plushie. It even told me like my first pet's name was wrong and it was Steve. My first pet turtle's name was Steve.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Steve was sick.
I think that all comes together. If you ever had like a sponsor, this would be the best plug. Hey guys, this stream is sponsored by LastPass.
Yeah, by one of like password like saving like websites or whatever, right?
Dashlane.
Yeah, Dashlane. God, yeah, sponsor me. Help people like me like remember their shit, cause like God, I have so many emails for like different things and like different passwords for everything, right? And it's like I haven't subscribed to a single one of them, but if they sponsored me, maybe that'll change, right? Like maybe if I get some money in my pocket, maybe I'll. Hey.
Before, after the stream, maybe some mid-roll
maybe
ads,
hit me
and I'll
up.
just chill you guys out.
Yeah. Speaking of, it's been like over 2 hours now. Do you wanna like try and interact with chat for a little bit and see what chat has to say? On anything? Do you want to like have some? Should we have our first segment of like chat interaction where I don't ignore them anymore? Chat, is there any questions you want to ask Oshino since we have him here? Y'all have been listening to us talk about random shit for like 2 hours, so surely there might be some questions if anyone hasn't gone like full AFK mode and like just put us in the background entirely. Oh yeah, also let me thank people for stuff
just
too.
a background noise.
Oh shoot, so many things happened while I wasn't paying attention. Let me see. Thank you for the follows, everyone, and Nichi the raid, G for the resub, Chan for the resub. Oh my god, and I don't even know if Dom's here anymore. Thank you for the raids as well. Holy shit, yeah, I was not looking at anything at all. Thank you everyone who followed. Oh my god. Thank you everyone, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. I think the chat is frozen on screen. No, it's just really delayed. Like I said, I mentioned it at the start of the stream. Stuff's a little scuffed today. I have to work out some kinks. The chat box is one of them. I need to work that out a bit. I'll fix it. I'll fix it at some point, just not now. But anybody have any questions or topics of something that you wanna now is the time. We're at like 2 hours, and honestly, I could probably just keep talking to Oshino about anything else in general, but I kind of want to involve the chat in some way, not have y'all just listening.
Good people talking.
It's time to come alive. What do you mean, ew? Oh my god.
Ew. Started talking to us.
My god. Have a coffee mug, yeah. Why did you start animating? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't ask you that. Why did you start animating?
No, I think. Wait, why or when?
Yeah, why? Not when, but like why? Like what?
I think I think that was the first question, and we got sidetracked.
Oh, it probably was. Yeah, it probably was. It's fine. Well, now you can answer it again if you didn't answer it fully the first time.
Why did I get started animating? Well, I was always interested. Oh, I guess what inspired me really. There was this like one series called Senpai Club on it.
Oh.
It's the like. Wait,
I think
have you
I
watched
heard
it?
it. I think so. It sounds so familiar. Senpai Club. I'll have to look it up later and see if it's like something that's like hidden, locked down, like in the deep depths of my mind. But go on.
It's basically like generic trope of like schoolgirl has like, you know, wakes up in the morning, has like the loaf of bread in her mouth, goes to school, meets like her husband or whatever, or something like that. And the thing is, it's all animated, like 2D animated. And it was made by only 2 people initially.
Oh, yo.
And it was just like someone was doing like the compositing, drawing. Both of them were doing animating and voicing. And it was just doing like different like variations of their voices. And I was like, wow, they put so much effort in this. Like, I wish I could do something like that, you know, like one day. And I don't know, they stopped posting stuff. They just went MIA. Like, they said they were gonna post like a season 3. They posted like 2 seasons worth of stuff. Then they went MIA. And I don't know, it wasn't right after that, but there was like a moment in my, like, you know, during VR chat, like I didn't feel like, I wasn't really feeling the best, and I wanted just something to like get my mind off of things. So I decided to just, you know, coincidentally during that week I was watching I wanted to see, well, the Lion King remake. You've seen, or you heard about that, like the IRL.
The live action, quote unquote, even though it's all CG.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
we get real lions and they talk.
Yeah. Voiced by freaking Childish Gambino.
He sounds kind of like Childish Gambino. Yeah.
No, that's a good impression.
But yeah, I wasn't interested in it. I hated it. I didn't like it at all. But you know what? It reminded me of the animated one, and I really liked Scar's theme, like his little song. So I decided to just go in Unity and be like, you know what? Let me just do something here. Let me just shot in the dart. Try recreating that. And it took me like a whole weekend. And you know, I pushed it out, and I don't know, like back then I was really small, but for like the positive like feedback I got from it, like it really kind of like, you know, it gave me kind of more inspiration, more motivation to do a bit more, because like I think like Toyomi messaged on it, and then I was just like, oh my god, like I'm a nobody, and like he of all people, like, you know, message my stuff. So I was like, okay. So I started like slowly dabbling into like, you know, putting more stuff out, and from there it was just like, I don't know, I was getting there. It was like increasing. I did take a break after a while. Or I was taking a lot of break. I wasn't like posting every day. It was more of like I'll post one day, maybe skip like a month, and then do it.
That's kind of how I
was
was with like my AMBs and stuff. Where it's like, cause like it becomes like, I feel draining if you do it so consistently and stuff. Like you kind of need like, if you have the similar mindset as me, where it's like you need that like surge of like, I want to sit down for a few hours and work on this, and if it's not there, you don't want to do it, because it just feels like your heart isn't in it, and so you make something shitty because you're not all like invest into it, right? Like I've made a few things where like I just felt like I needed to and not because I wanted to, and I look back at them and say I'm just like, this is so ass because I didn't have the drive for it, right? So it's like, ugh. But yeah.
I think, yeah, when it comes to like motivation, I don't get like motivated and then, well, okay, no, sorry, I rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. When I take a break or I just stop doing stuff and I don't feel like doing anything, if I get like one little spark of motivation and then kickstart myself into doing something, I can keep a rhythm.
Yeah, you can keep that.
And I think a lot of like, yeah, it's a lot of content creators can like kind of like relate to that stuff because you get it kind of like brings in the cycle. It's like going to school, for example. Say you haven't went to school for a while and then you go in once and then you feel like the motivation to like, you know, you just keep going type of thing. I know it's not like everyone, but like, you know, but yeah, I took a break, or I was going on off and on off, and then I took a break, and it wasn't until another sad moment came, and then I was like, you know what, I want to do more animation, and that's when I started doing the thing for Riley, and then I was like, you know what, I got so much good, like,
you got
positive
so
feedback.
much
Maybe
positive
start,
feedback,
like...
and you still are. I don't think I think everyone's just waiting on the next like big Oshino project or just anything really, you know, the next big one.
Yeah. It's more like it's I thought I was just being lucky with it, and I think I still am type of thing, because I want to get to do something that people like enjoy. That's why I made like a poll like recently saying like, do you like the music videos? Do you like, you know, the TikTok stuff? Do you like shit posts? Because I started dabbling a bit into like posting shit posty stuff. Some of them did alright, some of them was like,
yeah, I think a lot
so
of it
great,
is like dependent on the shit post, because like I've been experimenting the same way with like my pictures on like VR chat, where like I've come to the senses that it's like it depends a lot on for like a picture to pop off, the pose and like the caption, right? Because like some of them might have like maybe a really nice pose, but the caption was kind of like too weird or not like good enough, and so like it wouldn't pop off as much. But then I'd have one that where it's like the pose was kind of but the captions are and it kind of did okay. So it's like I feel like it's the same way with like TikTok shit posts, depending on like the one you make and like what like thing you use, like audio bit you use, it'll either really pop off or it'll just kind of maybe not like fail, but it won't like, you know, it'll stay somewhere in like the middle, right?
I've been starting to see a trend. I don't know, after like posting a lot of stuff like throughout a while, I've started to see which like platform likes what. Like TikTok likes the shit posty stuff.
Yeah, because it's TikTok,
from what I've seen. Yeah, Twitter likes the shorts, like just like the, you know, funny, it builds up to something funny. And then YouTube likes the music videos because, you know, people go on YouTube to watch. Like,
the watch time
video. They're not
is
there
favored
to, like,
right
scrolling
now.
through different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
look at you.
that kind of gives me a general sense. I don't know. It's whatever works.
Let's see. You got the next question from Blue, which says, what is a dream of something you want to create? What's like the dream creation? Like if you could work on anything, I guess, right? Like what would it be?
Okay. I talked about this before, like in the past. I have two goals, a middle goal and a final goal. I think a middle goal of mine is to work on a series, like make an original series for VRC that includes like, you know, different people, like cast, maybe like I don't know, like a story behind it, just some sort of like either series or I don't know about a
like
movie,
little
because
shorts or skits kind of thing, maybe.
Well, I'm already doing the shorts.
Or well,
thing.
well, not like that, but like voice. Like I'm imagining you want like voice work on it, and not just like, or no. When you say like a series.
Like there's a story. Like say for example, like an anime or like a TV series, something like that. Like, have a story leading up to something with casts using like their voice. Like say for
Yeah.
example, you would be like a cast, you would use your voice, it would have like a script and everything, what's going on for this episode, so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
That would be the biggest dream I've always wanted. And it goes back to the Senpai Club thing because they make everything and there were only 2 people, right? So I want to make something similar to that. Have a story, have like progression, something, you know. It's always been a dream for me. I always love like filmography. I'm not sure. Cinematography.
Yeah.
Same cinematography. And just I don't know. It's just always been a dream. I've been trying to find someone who makes stories. So you know, if there's any like Michael Bay's in chat.
Anybody that's like really sick with like any writers out there, just hit up Oshi. He is willing to animate anything that you wanna create or help him with. Yeah.
But as the last goal, I would love to work for like just like a film industry, like Disney or anything really. Just work for a company.
Yeah.
I won't get much. I don't want to get into like detail. I'm not sure if they would allow me to say this, but someone contacted me recently. About like working on it's a game that they're making, right? And they wanted me to give like consultation and like maybe become a potential animator for it. And I was just like, dude, oh my god, I'm actually like nervous.
Heck yeah. Oh my god. That was sick though.
It was kind of like nerve-wracking a bit. Like they have their own team and everything, and they say like, oh, if you would like to like take part, we have like a position and all that. You can get like monetary like compensation, and I was just like, oh, it's a dream.
That's so
it's
sick.
just the thing is, I'm just scared because I don't want
expectations
to stop
or something, or okay, like
expectations,
and you want to keep your own stuff like consistent too. You don't want it to get in the way of it. I feel that. I kind of get that. That's what my part-time job is for me right now. It's like, as much as I love working at a school and stuff and like being with like kids and making sure they do their stuff and help them out when they need it, it's like I don't want it to be something that gets entirely in the way of things. And I think that's the same for you, right? Like, as much as you love the idea of working with them, you don't want it to get in the way of what you're already kind of doing, because you have like your own goals too, outside of like helping people with the game and stuff, right? So
I think it all comes down to like how if I can make a living from that, which I didn't ask them for the price.
I feel like that would be kind of sketch to do that, honestly. You were probably really smart to not ask them, because they probably would be like hesitant if you did.
If I were able to make a living from that, then no doubt about it, I would definitely go with it. I would still try to post stuff when I can, but it wouldn't be like more like as frequently, because which one's better, like getting likes on Twitter or
getting like actual money from it, right? Like
money, like
stable income,
getting your own place and all this shit, right?
Kind of like how what is it, like KU, like the one animator that you were using as a reference the other day, where it's like they make their own animations from time to time on Twitter and like their own things, but they make their living off of the fact that they've worked on series and like animes with like professional like studios and stuff, because they've like worked on like anime openings, certain like fighting scenes and stuff. Like I'd imagine that's what you'd want, where it's like maybe someone brings you on board on their team to like work on something, you get paid for it, and like every now and again when you can, you post stuff to Twitter. And then like just like KU, maybe like if they give you the ability to like be like, hey, this is the specific part I animated and did, and here's like the behind the scenes on that, right? Because I feel like that's one of the reasons I like KU on Twitter and like their stuff, is that they post like the drawings and stuff and like everything that they did and how it looked before all the pretty stuff happened afterwards, right? Like they post like the meat and the bones of it, and then like what it looks like with everything on it, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
That's something I've been starting to do kinda. I've wanted to do like a little time lapse of me working on it, but the time it takes me to animate
I was gonna
something
say,
and the time of putting it into a
time-lapse.
time lapse is going to be like it's gonna be like a 10-minute time lapse
Yeah.
at that point.
Oh my god.
So
You have to, like,
I just
cut
post
a
the behind the
lot.
scenes like with a camera.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is still really good though. Like, I think that's actually, because like if anybody knows Unity about as well as you do, they could probably just imagine everything else. But like the camera work and seeing how all that like goes probably helps kind of give them something to be like, oh, so like this is where like Oshi puts like stuff or whatever and like all that, right? To like make it look the way that it looks, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like the building blocks and all
Yeah.
that. I guess that's why the streams are there for, but
Yeah. Which I was really hyped to see like the tail end of it. I was at work so I couldn't see all of it, so you know.
Don't worry, my chat was just pelting stuff at me because that was the first time I
Yes.
added
The throwing thing. Yeah, I need
my
to add the
avatars of
throw
VRM. Yeah,
like stuff. I can't wait for my chat to spam that too. They've, oh god, some of them have racked up enough points to spam like almost anything at this point. So like the second I give them the ability to throw shit at me, I guarantee they're going to throw
Just
everything at me.
absolutely, like...
Yeah. Here, let me see. Let me get the next question for you. Zed asks, do you have any lore for your character, or is it just a cosmetic avatar, no lore character? Just avatar looks nice and makes you unique. And then to add on, they said another one thing is instead of character lore, is there a reasoning till you chose for your design? Right, so if you don't have lore, is there a reason behind the design, kind of thing, you know?
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so I think my character or my design kind of built up to where I am now. I think it was like 2 years ago. I watched a series called Agretzko.
I love
a little red
Agretzko.
panda.
Yeah,
You
it's
like
so
Agretzko?
good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
I love that series so much. It was during the time when I was feeling like the off kind of feeling.
Yeah, you were kind
I
of
wasn't
like
feeling so well, so
same. I
watched
vibed with Agretzko because I was like, God, there's so many people right now that I just want to fucking yell at the way she does when she fucking sings it. Like, she is such a mood. Fuck me.
But yeah, it's not like the fact that like, you know, she yells every time she's like angry or anything like that. But I liked her design. It's very cute and all that. So I kind of designed my first version of this like way back. It had the same tail, like this tail.
Yeah. The big floofy tail.
Yeah, well, yeah, this is the one I made, but it was another version. But anyways, it kind of like stuck to me, where I had like, you know, the fluffy ears and the tail. I think the newer stuff is more of like the stars. I'm very interested in like astrology and like, you know, space stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of based mine on like, you know, the stars and black holes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the halo
why I
kind of
have, like...
gives that off too.
Yeah, so I really liked, yeah. The orange part is just I like orange. Orange and yellow are my favorite color. Yeah, it was like orange. The black part is supposed to be like more of like the dark, like the black holy type of side. That's why it's like, you know, you got this. It can also mean like, you know, light and darkness, like the sun and, you know, black holes. So you get kind of like the two sides. I don't know. I'm just rambling on. I really don't have like a reason for it. I just like the colors.
Yeah. No, I get you.
You have
The
the
purple and pink
stars
is
for
also
the
just because I like
stars.
colors, right? Like, I don't know. It's just literally that. I think the colors work well. I'd imagine it's probably the same for you. You just like the way the colors look, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. The leaf. I guess the leaf is more because I love fall. Fall is my favorite season.
Yeah.
So I put a leaf. My leaf is my sub badge and everything. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that's kind of like the round thing. I like the tomboyish kind of look. So that's
Yeah.
why I have like the scars and like the
The
band-aid
bandage
on my
and
nose, and then
everything.
like the thick, you know, the
Mhm.
thick brows. I love
Yeah.
thick brows. Oh my god.
Mhm.
I kneel to anyone who has like the small Inu brows.
Oh man.
They're absolutely
I've
cute.
thought
I
about
love
using them, but like I feel like my design, by the way I like make my avatars, like it doesn't, like I looked at it and I tried it out, it's like it doesn't fit. Like I don't know, in my head and like the way I see it, it's like it doesn't look like something that would be like this. Maybe if I made like another character that's not like my main like streaming avatar, I'd probably use it and like mess around with it like in a different design. But I think with this, it doesn't fit too well. It looks very off from what I was seeing. I was like, yeah, because I thought about it. It's like they do look nice, but not with my current design at least. Maybe somewhere down the road if I find something else, maybe. But I do like thin eyebrows too. I'm kind of a sucker for like the nice like thin ones, you know.
the thin ones.
Yeah.
Oh, and you get that. You get that.
Let's see. Blue says, would you use a nerve gear or stay in real life?
You know, with that question said, I think you already know the answer. Obviously, I would love to be an anime girl, but you know, I need to eat.
Yeah.
I need to pay for bills. If I can't do any of that, then I can't stay in VR forever. So
yeah. Cause I'd love the same thing too, honestly.
If I didn't have to pay for and do all that, then yes, I would stay in VR. I would definitely be an anime girl.
Yeah, just
all
be
my life.
nerve gear forever. That'd be the dream, honestly. Oh my gosh. Because we talked about that earlier too, like the thing like where you can lay in bed, like they're already working on something where you can just lay down and be like in VR, and they have like the controls set up for it and stuff. Like it's literally like foot pedals and like something in like that you would hold in your hands, I think, or whatever, to like do other things, right? For like buttons. But it's like I don't remember if it's like fully released or if it's just in like blueprint and like beta phase kind of thing, right? Either way, it looks cool and it seems promising.
I can be bedridden my whole life.
Yeah, you can just lay in bed and be in VR forever. And like they had like fans and stuff on it or something to like simulate like wind and all that, like to really like bring in like immersion and stuff. Like they have like things to kind of like make it feel like you're, you know, not just laying there and like looking at something, but like ways to get like immersed into it too. It's crazy. It's super sick.
Dang, only one day. It's probably gonna cost up like a fortune, even if it does come out like consumer.
No, yeah, it's gonna be so much money, dude. Oh my god, that'll be like an entire like few paychecks and like Twitch streams to pay for that if it's like in the thousands, dude.
A loan from the bank.
Yeah, a loan from the bank. Just everything. Oh my god. See, does chat have any other questions? Did I miss anything? I don't think I did. Other than, oh, Riley, thank you for the resub. See, does chat have any more questions? Any more comments for the Oshi? I feel like a 3-hour mark for this would be nice. I think like 3 hours would be like a good like cutoff for this. Unless you want to keep going, up to you. I genuinely don't mind going longer. I don't know if you have anything to do.
I think 3 hours. Yeah, I think 3 hours would be good.
Yeah.
I might have to do something after.
Yeah, you had avatar stuff, right? So yeah, 3 hours will be a good cutoff. We're almost there. We're at 2 hours and like 45 minutes. So almost there.
I don't know. I was thinking, but I don't know. I don't know if it's because this is your thing.
No, you're fine. What were you thinking about?
Oh, give a people like an idea, but I don't know.
Like what you do? I think it does. I could try and do that. Or well, do you have a video up? You can probably play it and I can just move the camera up to it to like look at it.
It's okay, it's alright.
Yeah, you sure? I don't mind. Oh, here comes another question. I should have. I honestly should have thought of that. Man, I should have like put something up, honestly. Heck. Zed says, as writer brain Zed, what's one concept you'd love to do without the worry of not having a story? You already had everything set. What would you want to do?
As a writer, one concept. So basically, no plans, nothing like that. Just a concept I would like to do, just like out of the blue.
Yeah, like what's something you would like to work on without having like if you didn't have to worry about like the story writing side of things. Just like what's a concept that you would be like, you know, like this is what I want to do, and you wouldn't have to worry about anything else. Yeah. Like you have everything, but you just need the concept. Like what's something you'd want to do?
I was thinking something more. What's the word for it? Kind of like a slice of life type of thing.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Slice of life that kind of go. Slice of life that kind of like goes wrong. I think one idea I had was like Gakko Gurashi. I'm not sure if you know that, school life.
Oh, yeah. I know, yeah.
So yeah, like the whole like it starts out like, you know, your cutesy type of anime, you know where it's going, and then it just suddenly twists into something like very like you know devious. Like there's
one. Yeah, I was gonna say there's one that's literally like it's like the girl, they're like literally in a zombie apocalypse, but like there's one girl who's like, I forget what she has, but like in her head it's just a normal school life. Everything's cutesy, everything's fine. But then like everyone else sees like the apocalypse going on around, but she's just like, woo, yeah, I love school. Meanwhile the rest of them are just trying to survive and shit. Oh, that was such a cute anime. Oh my god, it was fun and cute. Like, it hits. But oh god, I need to rewatch that. I need to remember the name of that and rewatch it.
It's cool. That's.
Oh, is that? Oh wait, was that the name? Oh, no wonder it sounded familiar. Oh my god. I was like, yeah, I know that one, and then like I was like, but what's the name though? My brain works like that. Oh my gosh, wasn't that a major twist of that show? Yeah, it was. Yeah. From what I remember. Yeah, that was a major. Yeah.
The poor dog. The poor dog.
Anytime animes or shows do anything to a dog, man, it hurts.
Yeah.
Fuck people who shit the animals.
The reason. that's the whole reason. I've always liked the big twist in like type of like movies like that or like series.
Yeah.
Just like it gets you off guard, like catches you off guard. That's something I would like to do.
Yeah, you wanna have like that M. Night Shyamalan like twist kind of thing, right? Where it's like, oh, that would be sick though. That'd be so cool if you did that with like the VR chat stuff, like you were saying, right? Like doing like the little series, having it like be some kind of plot twist and that. Oh, that'd be sick. God.
I would make like one thing I wanted to do recently was kind of like an anime intro.
Yo, oh my god, that would be so. You know what I think of for VR chat is like the what is it? Surprise service. Like I imagine that being like the perfect like VR chat opening. Yeah, smile, sweet. Because there's so many personalities in VR chat that I think fit that.
I was thinking of having kind of like a it was more of like an idea, an anime opening for like your stream, like stream start type of thing.
That'd be so cool. You should do that.
I need to put that on my
yeah, put it on a list somewhere.
I need to put that on my Ko-fi.
Oshino anime opening commissions.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of what I want to like, or I was expecting from the commission time of stuff. It's like people to commission
stuff like that.
Intro or like an AFK type of thing. Because all I have for mine right now is just me on the train, just like getting like
yeah.
Getting like tossed in turn, like just like sleeping, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of like thought. But yeah, anime intro is definitely something I want to do. It might be like one of the, maybe not even just like Twitch stuff. It might even like compete with like the shorts and the music videos. Well, kind of like kind of more of the music videos, but it's okay. It's basically a music video.
It would,
yeah.
yeah, it'd be kind of like that, yeah. Snyaru
Are we-
says, "What's your favorite animation method to use?"
Animation method. What do you mean by that?
I'm not sure.
Like
Because I know you animate in
method
Unity,
as in...
but I don't know like what methods you would use in Unity.
Method? I mean, I use Unity. I use a plugin called Umotion Pro. Method. I think you need to elaborate
like,
a bit more on that.
Because I know with like
what a
traditional
method- what exactly
animation, there are
method.
methods, right? Like there's certain things you can do, like where it's like, you know, you like cell shaded stuff or whatever, like, you know, hand drawn animation, or do you want to do
That's more like style, no?
or is it
It's like
well,
style.
I guess yeah, but like yeah, no, I think they do need to
Well,
elaborate a bit
I
more in
guess if
terms
you
of
mean like
method, but,
visually.
yeah, I guess. Not sure.
Oh, sorry. If it's more visually, I like 2D. I like 2D
Specific
more, I'll be
motions and
honest.
styles that are fun to animate. Oh, it's like, is there any like specific like
Motion
motions and styles you like to use? I guess, right?
Motions. Motions. I don't know.
Like you know how like motions like
animation
being
motions.
like poses or something. I guess, right? Like what's like if you could like are there any kind of like that's what I imagine they're saying is like motions like is there like a specific thing you find like super cool to animate like
stylistic.
like maybe you really like animating some like a fight thing where like somebody throws like a punch or something like that's cool to you, or like someone dancing or something. Like I'm imagining something like that, like those kinds of motions.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now I get it. Okay. Something I wanted to really do, and I really like, is Trigger
Video
Trigger.
Trigger,
Dynamax?
yeah. I love them so much.
That's always been a goal of me. That also kind of inspired the double star design because the Goku uniforms from Kill la Kill.
Oh
But,
god, yeah.
yeah, I've always liked their way of like very like in your face type of stuff, and I'm trying to get that. With 3D, it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
So I need to really like get like into like perspective kind of stuff, because they do like very like exaggerated.
No, it's
like,
exact
perspective.
like oh, it's so good though. It works so well for what they do. Holy shit! Like Trigger, their story for shows could be ass, but their animation will always be like top notch regardless, and that's what I love about them. I will always watch
Trigger.
their shows just because there's always gonna be like those one or two fight scenes that like will live in your head rent free forever, right? Like oh my god, and then I guess this could be the final
always been
question for the night, and then you can run off after that. Zed says, another question to do with animation. With no worry of copyright, what would you love to animate? It can already be an existing story if you got to animate anything that hasn't been done before or has been done, but you have didn't have the ideas. What would you want to do? So without worries of copyright, like nobody striking you, I'm guessing, right? Like what would you do? Would you like, if you could, like, I guess recreate a thing or just make your own thing originally?
Recreate?
Yeah, like with no worries of copyrights, like what
Oh.
would you want to do?
Specifically, I can't really tell. I can't really think of anything specifically I would like to recreate. More of like some stuff like maybe something similar to like maybe I guess like JoJo. I like JoJo stuff. Especially like the Stardust like series. I thought that was really nice. I would like to
Yeah,
recreate
like one of those
something like
JoJo
that.
openings. Oh my god. You know what made me happy is for Jolene they brought back the 3D animation for the opening for the new part 6.
Yeah, I saw it.
It was so cool. Oh my god. That'd be so a VR chat like JoJo opening would be sick. Oh my god. That'd be so Stardust
I was-
Crusaders.
oh.
Oh, did you spoil something
No
on accident?
No questions, but
Mhm.
maybe it might be happening. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, okay, maybe. All right.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
how
we'll
that
see.
goes.
Yeah,
We'll
just,
see
you
if
know,
it works or not.
and just mark it down as like a maybe for everyone in chat. Like, you know, like Oshino might be doing a joke. No, you didn't hear it here, but maybe there'll be one. I guess this is a quick one. Lugs asked if you drink. I think that one's an easy like yes.
Let me tell you, last night I was drinking so much. I think I passed out like almost 3 times.
Oh my god.
I was at the meetup and I just kept like
chugging.
I was vibing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was vibing and I think I was talking to someone and I just passed out mid conversation. I hate to say it. Wait, I'm gonna close my eyes and I just.
God. I've never had that happen before. The only time I passed out on someone while like mid thing is when I got like blackout drunk the first time I drank in VR. I just kind of stopped. Then I passed out.
Yeah, no. I'm a lightweight, so
I
don't have to pay as much.
Gosh, I'm like in the middle. I'm just past lightweight, but not like heavyweight, so I still have to pay a decent amount. That's why I stopped buying drinks for like being able to drink like every week because I was spending like a good amount every month. So yeah. How often do you leave a project unfinished? If you're like me, it's a lot. If you were like me back then when I used to, oh my god, there is so many, like on my old laptop where I used to edit, there are so many untitled projects that I just never finished. It'd just be like, which one was the one that I thought about finishing? Untitled 1 or untitled fucking like 23 or whatever? Like God.
Honestly, so if I took all of the unfinished stuff I'd done, it'll probably be like 5 minutes worth of content.
Oh my god.
It's probably more than like 10 different stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, eventually I thought of like actually releasing those types or those things. I just don't know how. Should I like release it as one whole video or release like one at a time and say like, hey, this is
I think
unfinished.
for YouTube it would be
this is, like,
perfect to release
abandoned.
all in one because YouTube likes watch time, so it could be like, you know, unreleased whatever, right? And everything else you could just kind of turn it into like maybe a daily thing or like weekly thing, you know, it's like buffer until you make the next big thing.
Yeah, until I have to give out on another thing.
I felt that question too because there's so many things that I never finished. There's even like some avatars that I never saw the light of day that I've worked on in the past, where it's like I had the concept but I didn't implement it the way I wanted to, and then it's like I give up.
Yeah. There's been avatars and even like a whole huge project that I want to do. Yeah. That I spent so much time like just starting it out, but I never like continued with it. And I thought I can get it to work. But it's more of like a future type of thing. Like I get the groundwork and then whenever I get the experience, then I go towards it, you know?
Okay. Yeah. I think that's kind of where I am because I don't know how to do a lot of shit. So it's like some ideas kind of fall because I don't know how to do it.
But yeah, I don't know.
I guess now we can wrap it up. Is there anything you want to say to the people listening? Any last words from Olshi? Anything you wanna? This is just like What the Puck. This is now your time to sell yourself out on anything near the end. Anything you wanna promote?
My shoutouts.
Yeah, your shoutouts. Yeah.
Alright. Well, as a first podcast stream. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed my time here. I hope you guys
Aw.
enjoyed your time.
Thank
Kitty's very sweet. Kitty's very nice. Yeah, as again, you can check out. I think they're posting, like, the bot is like posting my socials or whatever.
Yeah, it's in chat.
Yeah,
Your little
you know,
card.
you can check me out. I post like shorts, you know, music videos, animated stuff. I recently opened up commissions, so if you guys want information from me, you can commission me on my
Commission Oshino. Give him your money. Sub to his Kofi, even if you don't commission him, just give him money on a monthly basis. Yeah. Oh, he's found the banana. You can take that as a souvenir if you want. Yeah, you can take that. Yeah, you can keep that. Yeah.
Alright, I'll cherish it. This is a very skinny banana, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, it's kind of, you know, but you know, I'm sure
you didn't put like a sausage in here?
No, it's a banana.
There's a sausage sized. I don't know.
No, you know, it's just not as, you know, he's a little weaker, you know, he's the weaker of the bunch, right? you know, like sometimes when you like get fruits and stuff, there's always an odd one out, you know, that's what he is. He's just a little, you know, he's like the weird one. It's average size. Oh,
that's good.
That's good. Well, Oshi,
it's pretty average.
Now you are free to go. You can go work on your avatar stuff, so I won't keep you here any longer. Thanks for being my test subject.
No problem. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
I hope more content creators or people join the the podcast.
Yeah, there's a huge list of people that I have that responded to that tweet, so I will already be messaging the next person by tomorrow. I will like see who's free next week, so keep an eye out for who the next person is. Yeah, next week, every Saturday. Yeah. Alright, bye Oshi, have a good one. I love you.
Bye. Enjoy your time.
Bye. There we go.